Goodness. Can TikTok please give me the proper angle? Well, I don't even know what's going on here, but this is all right. You letting viewers know that I'm fucking live? Yeah. And then when I fucking post this, it's gonna be like, oh shit, the whole top of the screen is gonna be blank, but right now I just see it up to my fucking the crown of my head. Okay, whoa, someone joined through the invite I shared. I didn't even know that I shared an invite, but thank you for joining. So yeah, everyone, thank you for the likes, thank you for joining. I shared an invite. I don't even know how none of this works. You see, this is me. I am not tech savvy, so I don't know. Hey Ashley, what is up? Thank you for the gift. Love you. So, hey Shelly, what is up, girl? Oh, guys, am I sending out a fucking link to this? Because I didn't even know that I was sending out a link to this. Because all I did was press go live, so I don't know how any of this works. But, we just happy to all be here because time doesn't exist, and no matter where the fuck you are in the universe, we're all here right now, just like Ram Dass says, be here now. So I wanted to get started with a sermon, as I typically do, and this one is going to be a sermon about specific individuals, okay, thank you, which we already discussed in the last live, which I posted a video in regards to that. We're not referring to them as a specific person. Oh, Shelly, you've been listening to my YouTube all day. Ooh, thank you, girl. I hope you're enjoying. I know you're enjoying, or you wouldn't have been listening to it all day. So I love it. Yeah, sometimes I get into the zone where I just have like a video on in the background, and it's just that's all that's going on. So I know how that is. That's why, like, I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the lives that go on for hours and hours and hours, even though time doesn't exist, because it gives you something to listen to in the background, if anything. But yes, so we're talking about specific individuals who are no longer specific individuals. They are whoever you want them to be. Now, this is not just isolated to a motherfucker that you want to smash. This is for everyone. Everyone is a specific individual. So what I would recommend for this is that you start assigning these individuals the role that they're going to play in your universe. Yes, your universe, not theirs, because you are the only thinker, you are the only perceiver, you are the only observer. What is up, Y2K ass crack? Oh my god, I love that name. So you're the only one, right? Now other individuals, okay, sure, it might seem like they are having a semblance of consciousness and things like that, but they really are in consciousness because you are giving them the ability to interact with you, therefore making them conscious. But if you weren't observing them, would they even still be in your experience? Okay, so like if we think about something, thanks for opening your eyes. You're welcome, Mary. Glad you enjoy the content. Okay, so these individuals are not specific people that you are manifesting. They are individuals who are acting out a role according to what you assign for them to do. Now, you're doing this through your conscious beliefs, and you are doing this through your subconscious beliefs. So I would suggest taking inventory of anyone in your life, whether it's a friend, a family member, a romantic interest, whoever they are in relation to you, and assign them, this is who they are. So for example, a person that you're, let's go with this, you're thinking that you're manifesting them, but in reality you're already married to them. So you're going to say, this is my spouse, whatever, right? And then who are they? Okay, you assign them the role. They are my spouse. Now, who are they? They are loving, attentive, loyal, devoted, whatever it is that you want, okay? Make that your affirmation, and whenever this individual crosses your mind, you can say, oh, that's my spouse. They are loyal, attentive, loving, and devoted to me. They are so trustworthy. They choose me above all else. I am the center of their universe because I am the universe, and they must respond accordingly, okay? The same thing if it's a neighbor, if it's a friend, if it's a coworker, if it's a boss, if it's me, mom, peepaw, okay? Whoever they are, this is why it's not about that you want to smash this motherfucker, okay? It's about everyone can be a specific person because everyone has a specific role in your universe. So if you want your neighbor to be friendly, you're going to assign them. This is my neighbor. They live 2 doors down and they are always smiling at me, waving at me, and inviting me to the fucking block party, if that's what you want. If it's a neighbor that is nosy, or you perceive them as nosy, then you want them to stay out your fucking business, you're going to say, this is my neighbor. Oh, damn, I rarely even see them. They always in their house. I never see them outside. Oh, man, all they do is stay in their lane and mind their business and stay the fuck out of mine, okay? So you're not going by how they're currently showing up as if it's unfavorable, because you don't want that. So you're gonna, I mean, ideally you could do whatever you want, because I don't tell motherfuckers what to do. Ooh, Shelly, glad you love it. So so this is what you're gonna do, okay? If you want to assign motherfuckers roles, because you're the casting director, right? You're casting down imaginations. You're casting down imaginations, and you're casting these individuals in whatever role you assign to them, because you are the director, right? So you're casting. You see how it all makes sense? Okay, we fucking love that. The Book of Corinthians, casting down imaginations. Fuck yeah, okay? Because though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They're not carnal, they're mental. So you're going to mentally take inventory. Who are these individuals in my experience? How do I want them to perform? Whenever that individual comes to mind, you're going to say, this is my spouse. They are loving, loyal, devoted, and trustworthy. They're devoted to me. Boom. This is my neighbor. Oh, this neighbor, or I rarely even see them. They stay in their lane. They mind their fucking business. They leave me alone just the way I like it. If it's a coworker, oh, this is my former coworker. I'm so glad they were transferred out into a job that better suits them, and now my workplace is peaceful, perfect, and easy, okay? Whatever the fuck it is. If you want a motherfucker gone, if they come to your mind, you say bye to them, and you picture them getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Then they're getting further and further away. It's like you hit the ball. It not only like flew out of left field, it flew out the stadium. That shit is gone, okay? So where it went, no one knows and no one gives a fuck, because it's your universe, and you just banish them into nothingness, okay? They're not in your awareness. That's the key point, okay? So if you want someone, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Woo! Right on time with this sermon. Hell yeah, Shelly. What is up? I love it. I love it. I love it. So this is what's going on with specific individuals, because you want to, in a way, like with what I talked about in the most recent live that I did. I said that the neuro-linguistic shit that motherfuckers always be talking about in this fucking community too, is the way that you speak about the thing also influences the thing, okay? Spelling, that's why they call it spelling, casting spells, whatever, yada yada. So if there's anyone in your experience and you're like, okay, who do I want them to be? What, you know what I mean? Do I want them to be gone? Then I'm going to remove the only thing that keeps them in my reality, which is my awareness that they even exist. Who is that? What is that? I would do that. You want to know some crazy thing? You want to know some crazy motherfucking thing? I would do this. And, now that I look back on it, right? Before I even knew what conscious reality creation was, I was already doing it since probably the time I was a little kid, okay? I remember there'd be times that there'd be a motherfucker that, I don't know, for whatever egoistic, petty reasons, when you're a fucking teenager and shit, you're like, oh, I don't like this motherfucker doesn't like me, whatever, right? So what I would do is I would just pretend they don't exist. I'm like, oh, I don't like them, they don't exist. And then motherfuckers would even try to bring up this motherfucker to me. And they're like, yo, but so-and-so. And I'm like, who? And I would dead ass fucking legit do this. They'd be like, yo, you so-and-so. Like, I'm like, I don't know who that is. Like, what are you talking about? Are you okay? And then the person that I was talking to, they'd be like, yo, you cold. I'm like, how am I cold? What am I doing? I'm asking you a question. And they're like, yo, but you know who so-and-so is. It's like, no, I don't. And like, whatever. You want to call it petty. You want to call it narcissistic. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it, okay? Because the label don't mean shit. But I call it, at that age, before I even knew what conscious manifestation was, if I did not like a motherfucker, immediately my initial reaction was to pretend they don't exist. Okay, whether it sounds logical, I don't fucking know. Hey Kylie, what's up, girl? Thank you for joining. I would just be like, no, who is that? Anyone. And it didn't matter who it was. It could be a mutual friend, and like it's like a fucking group of homies, and then the homie would call me and they'd be like, yo, motherfucker's coming, whoever that. I'm like, yeah, so what did you have for dinner? And they're like, yo. And I'd be like, so what time you want to meet at the club? And they'd be like, yo, did you hear me? The motherfuckers come. And like, I wasn't being outwardly rude to like my friends. I would just literally play dumb. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I would change the topic. Boom, boom, boom. And I was doing that before I knew what manifestation was, right? And then what would happen? That motherfucker would soon disappear out of my experience, because how could they be in my experience if I'm not giving them attention? I'm the only observer, okay? So now, let's talk about this thing where it's like, okay, so motherfuckers are gonna say, what is the thing, solipsism? I don't even know how you pronounce it. I don't even know how you spell it. The thing where it says it's only you, okay? Now let's compare that with narcissism, where you think that you're better than everyone, or whatever that psychological term is, okay? Cool. So it's not narcissism, and it's not solipsism. I mean, maybe it's solipsism, but, you know, again, labels don't fucking matter. But the point is, you are the only thinker, you are the only observer. And it is not narcissistic for you to be the center of your universe, because that's who you are. Now, there's a difference when, and I'm going to tell you this, okay? So I got little story times for you. And I might have spoken on this before, but let me tell you something about having a high self-concept in the ego compared to having a high self-concept in neutrality. Okay, so because this is something I had to learn, which is why I can talk to you about it. So hold on. So hold on, I had to keep saying that to myself what the next topic is, because for those of you that have a high self-concept, that is great and that is amazing, but also be mindful, because this is why I said with the narcissism, where if you're thinking that you're better than someone, then that someone, they still are picking up on that. So hold on. Whee! Okay. So it is not conceit, it is not narcissistic, it's not like a psychological disorder to know that you are the center of your universe, okay? Now, let's say you already know that. You Jiggy Prime, you the shit, okay? You know that you're the center of the universe, whatever, and you're just like, everything else is neutral, that's the ideal, everything is neutral. But let's say, right, because remember the ego, as part of the programming software, the ego comes in, and now it's just defending whatever story that you have dominantly going on. So for me, I've always, whatever, I don't care how to say it, don't fucking matter. I've always had a strong self-concept in what I talked about, where I'm like, but it doesn't matter what anyone else is thinking or feeling, it matters what I'm thinking and feeling about the thing. Don't try to force your ideals on me, blah 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 blah. Okay, cool, right? So I was always, to me, I'm like, but it's what, like, I'm, whatever you want to call it, self-centered, you are the center of the universe, right? Just like the planets orbit around the sun. But it's like knowing who you are and not bowing down to an expectation of you, okay? Like, I was expected to go to fucking school, and I didn't want to go to school, so what did I do? I didn't go to school. And motherfuckers like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, you don't want to go to school? I'm like, no, I'm not, none of this, I'm not going to need this for anything. This information is useless. I have no interest, right? Like, no, but everyone goes to school. Okay, so when I wanted to go out, and when I was going out, drinking and partying and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Oh, just because everyone else is drinking and partying doesn't mean you have to do it. Fuck you, because who's the one with the issue? Is it me, bitch, or is it you? Because you're contradicting yourself. You're saying, well, you shouldn't want to do that just because everyone else is doing that. And then with this other thing, we're going to school. Oh, but everyone else is doing it, so you just have to. Fuck off, motherfucker. Okay? Just in general, anyone who's saying that, because look at what you're saying, you just contradicted yourself, okay? You're serving two masters because likely you're fucking brainwashed by societal programming. Okay, cool, so we get that. So I always had this self-concept where I'm like, yeah, if I want to do this, I'm gonna fucking do it because it's not affecting anyone but me, right? And I wouldn't go out of my way to be a fucking asshole to anyone, you know what I mean? I would stay in my lane, I would mind my business, I would do me. But if you're trying to tell me something that I'm doing with me and it got shit to do with you, now you see you brought that, whatever. But anyway, so this is when I was younger. Of course, now I most likely wouldn't even attract a situation like that. But when I was younger, okay, because I had this high self-concept, my ego, because it's part of the software, was protecting that story. Okay, always protecting that story. I'm the best, I'm the shit, whatever, right? So this filtered out into relationships. And now you would think, because I started talking about specific motherfuckers, which they're not specific motherfuckers, they're already the motherfucker that yo, Shelly, you were the exact same, hell yeah, high five, what is up, boom. So anyway, right? So the specific individual, right, who, let's say in my former versions, identities that no longer exist, I'd be like, I'm the shit, I'm so fucking amazing, I'm lit, I'm too good for this motherfucker. But then at the same time, because the ego, remember, right, the ego is defending the dominant storyline. The dominant storyline for me is, it's my universe. Like, what I think and what I feel matters. I'm the center of it all, okay? Now, in a relationship, how this spilled out, I'm too good for this motherfucker, I'm too good for them, I'm too good for them. But then what are they getting? You see, so here's the thing with even having a high self-concept, and this is why I say you don't need self-concept. You don't need self-concept to manifest, because number one, you're always manifesting, but number two, you can have the greatest self-concept, but if your ego is attached to a story, let's say about relationships, as was in my case, I'm like, I'm the shit, I'm too good for every motherfucker, how dare you fucking approach me? And that's how I would be. I'd be like, oh, how dare you? Like, okay? So, right, the ego, because the ego is like, whoa, thou shalt not approach this fine motherfucker right here because you're not worthy. Okay, so when I would deal with dudes who I was actually feeling from an egoistic perspective, they wouldn't fucking be interested. Like, they'd be interested, but it'd be like a weird kind of like non-committal, or like what I was reading back then was avoidant attachment. And meanwhile, like, looking back on it, I could say I was pretty avoidant attachment, so that's why I projected that onto others. But whatever, it's all about a story you tell yourself. So I was looking at dating advice, and I was like, one day I'm like, but what you mean? Like, and they'd be like, well, it's about feeling worthy. And I'm like, no, like, it's not about feeling worthy, because remember, the high self-concept already knows that it's worthy. And this is why I tell you all, self-concept doesn't fucking matter, because you could have a sector in your experience. If you have a good self-concept, you have a shitty self-concept, because it's about the story. It's about the story that the ego is defending. Okay, so yes, you want your ego to be there, because it's going to be like I said in my most recent video that I put up, it's like if someone comes up to you like, yo, you ain't worthy, it's like, bitch, what you mean I ain't worthy? And it's like, it's going to come out, right? Not necessarily in like a brawlic fucking way where it's like, you know, throwing fists and shit, but it's going to be like, whoa, back up, who the fuck are you? You see, it's kind of like a filtration system, okay? And it's going by what you dominantly are thinking of. So if in a relationship you have a high self-concept in general, and that's just the way you see things, but you're thinking that you too good for motherfuckers, it's not about not feeling worthy. It's about that you have a story that you too good for motherfuckers, and what are they getting back? Oh, I can never be with this person. I can never satisfy them. Their standards are too high. Oh, what I would always get, you look high maintenance. Bitch, I am high maintenance with my motherfucking self. Fuck yes. And I do have standards. But like, you see, I wasn't even thinking that I'm high maintenance towards someone else, but it would always come out. Always come out. Always come out. Okay? Oh, I thought that you were too good for me. And it would come out like later after the fact when I had no clue what the hell was going on. I'm like, but I'm the shit. I'm so fucking amazing. This motherfucker ain't want to be with me. And I'd be calling my fucking homies like, yo, what the fuck is this? And I'm talking like years ago, okay? And I was wondering, I'm like, okay, so am I doing something wrong? I started getting into the psychology, the avoidant attachment, all of that shit. And I'm like, oh, it has to be this. You see, I was looking for an answer from the outside, okay? And dating advice, psychology, they're looking at the outside, okay? Because that wasn't any of it. What it was what I came to see is that, yes, I had a strong self-concept, but that's very good. So if all of you have a strong self-concept, keep it up that way. But be mindful if there's not a block in there that is keeping the thing from you. Because for me, when I was like into relationships and all that shit, right? It was like, okay, well, so someone else is not interested. Someone else is not committing. Why? Because I was the undertone, I'm the shit, I'm too good for them. And I would say this to my friends. I'm like, yeah, but I'm too good for him anyway. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, he doesn't want me. Yes. And what is that? That's the ego. That's the ego popping off. Okay? That's, you know, you can think that way. That's great if you're like, yeah, I'm the shit. Like, but if you want a relationship and you think you're too good for someone, they're going to get that back. And they're going to be like, oh, so maybe they want to be with you, but they're like, no, I'm not even be able to handle this motherfucker, right? Because I'm not going to be able to satisfy them because they are too good for me. They're out of my league, right? So that's why I'm telling you, and this is why whenever a motherfucker gets on here and say, oh, you can't manifest something, you have to feel worthy and deserving of it. That is not the case. I promise you this, because that was not the case for me, but I still had a shit fucking relationship app going in the background because my ego was like, no one come near, like, this motherfucker is a celebrity, you a fucking fan. So even if, like, you know, and I know some people in the manifestation community, they talk about like, the SP is a puppet and you know, you're the superstar. Yes, you are the superstar. Okay. But there's a way, which I had to personally learn, to be the superstar, but not like putting someone as like I'm out of reach. You see what I'm saying? If I want you out of reach, you're not even gonna be near, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But with someone that you want to be within a relationship, if you have a strong self-concept, you know you're worthy and deserving, but you're saying I'm too good for them. They're not up to my standards. Oh, but what am I even doing? They're going to get that regardless. And it doesn't mean that you feel not valuable or not chosen or not worthy. It's because your ego is so on guard with that fucking story that you the shit that it's not even letting a motherfucker near you. Okay? So how you change this, if you have a strong self-concept, and this could be for any other area, right? It could be for money, or it could be a job, it could be for health, you know, like you can have a strong self-concept, and then one app is, there's something going on there that the ego is attached to, okay? So even if it's, let's say, for money, okay? You have a strong self-concept, but your relationship, your money app, okay? Your money app, the ego is defending a story that you had, like, because you know I'm worthy and deserving, I'm the shit, I get paid to exist, like, you know, whatever. But then you had an underlying story, money is hard to come by. Okay, that's specific to money, so it's going to come out and the ego is going to defend that. And then you're like, but what you mean? I know I'm worthy. My self-concept is solid, but what is the undertone of that? Okay, what is the undertone? That's how I'm gonna go. Oh, Shelly, I answered a question you had in your mind yesterday. Hell yeah, what is up? Woohoo! Hey, Powerful Electric, what's going on? I like all them fire emojis. Fuck yeah. So, when someone is having a strong self-concept, okay, that is a good thing, but you want to check, okay, what is your immediate reaction to anything? Because your immediate action in all these sectors, let's say you have a solid self-concept, you're like, yeah, I think for myself, I feel for myself, I know everything about me, I'm worthy and deserve, like you good, you happy. But then there's one area, when you think of that area, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Go into it, right? Write it down on a paper. Money, career, because career and money, in my opinion, are two separate things. Friendships, relationships, family members, co-workers, health, mental health, physical health, how you view your body, okay? There's all these different sectors. The first thing that comes to your mind is the ego. Now, it could be something favorable, okay? So let's say you love your body, okay? So you think of body. Oh yeah, I love my body. I'm so healthy. Is that an ego thing? No. Yeah, I mean, it is, but that was the first thing that came to mind. But there's nothing where it's diminishing anything else, okay? So that's in healthy ego protector, okay? So in the case of where, for me, what I had to learn about the relationship thing was, Okay, so I'm worthy, I'm deserving. Then the first thing will come to mind when I thought of relationship, I'm too good for every motherfucker out there. Why? Why is that a bad ego thing and not a good ego thing? Even though there's no such thing as good and bad, like I said with the health issue, yeah, I'm healthy, I love my body. What did that say? It was me, it was I, it was self. That's self-concept. Self-concept, what I said, you're not looking to the outside, you're just going with me. I am healthy, I love my body, boom, okay? So the ego is attached to that, which is good, because that's a dominant story, but it's in alignment with your self-concept. But now, why was it, classes in session, why was it when the whole relationship shit, when I brought that up, the first thing you think of, you have a strong self-concept, oh, I'm too good for this motherfucker, right? What was that? It was bringing someone else into the equation when it's not about them, it's about you. Oh, fuck yeah, okay? I'm too good for everyone. There's no one else. It's only me. That's how you can tell that it is a limiting ego belief, because the ego is it's attached to a story comparing something else. Whereas, let's say a healthy ego attachment, okay, because you're not going to escape the ego. I don't care what no motherfucker says. You're not escaping it. As long as you're in a vessel, yeah, you might have a healthy ego. Your ego might be neutral with something, supporting a story for you. It's there to defend you, but it ain't on guard all the time. You're not going to escape the fucking ego, okay? So when I think of a healthy self-concept and then a good relationship program that the ego is defending, yeah, relationships, I always receive everything that I give in a relationship because I'm the one giving it to myself. Relationships are always working out for me because I am the other person and they're my reflection. So in a relationship, if you do think of yourself as like, I always am valued, I'm always chosen, I'm always prioritized because I choose me, that's a different way to look at it than I'm too good for everyone, okay? Because you're realizing I am the value and everyone else sees that. You are putting yourself first. I am valuable. I choose myself, so everyone choose me. So it's like, yes, the other person can still be in the picture, but you're saying, yeah, this relationship is easy. I am love. Everyone loves me. Do you see the difference in that? Okay, so now there's an inclusion with the other motherfucker instead of alienating the other motherfucker. Or if, let's say, someone had a poor self-concept or something, they had like a relationship story, you know, and then they're like, oh, but like this person would go for me. I can't believe that, right? That's their dominant knee-jerk reaction when you think of relationships. Oh, wow, like how could anyone be interested in me? It's separating. Do you see what I'm saying? So in relationships, there is somewhat of an awareness that there's another person, but you're still putting yourself first. I am valuable. I am love, and everyone values and loves me. That area is great compared to, oh, what would anyone ever even see in me? Do you see the difference? So when you are thinking of relationships and the ego comes into play, you want to be mindful of what that story is with the ego. Is it going for me? Yeah. I am love and my relationships are amazing because how can I get anything other than who I am being, right? Compared to division. Okay, so it's inclusion based rather than divisively based. And that's how you can tell if you know, with relationships. Now with money, if you have a strong self-concept, but you have a money app in the background, okay, but I'm worthy and deserving of this money. Oh, but money is hard to come by. I got to work for it. Thank you for the heart. Then do you see the difference of that? That's that story going on in the background. So what are you going to say? I am the currency and I am always provided for no matter what because I am my own supply. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's different ways to look at these things. Thank you, Coquettish. So what I suggest you do is look at the different sectors in your experience like I did, because I can tell you when I first started this manifestation shit, I'm abundance, I am prosperity, hell yes, Shelly, fuck yes. Yes, you are. I was confused as fuck, okay? And this is where I can see, like, some of y'all be saying, but this person's a narcissist, this person's an avoidant attachment, and, like, my dude, like, do you even know what that means? Because I tell you, when I was seeing this shit, when I was reading dating advice years back, and I would see these psychological terms, I didn't even know what the goddamn fuck that shit even meant. Okay, I'm like, avoidant attachment, okay, like, so I was throwing that out there, and I was saying that in my mind, and I'm like, oh, so they're avoiding me, and that's how I interpreted it. Do you see what I'm saying? If you're saying someone's a narcissist, okay, then what does that mean? They think that they're better than you? Like, you know what I mean? So even be careful for those psychological terms, okay? Because especially now, the term narcissist is being thrown around like fucking candy on Halloween, and I'm just like, my dude, not everyone's a fucking narcissist. Like, yes, I'm sure there can be. Thank you for the rose. There can be, but my dude, not everyone, like, the way that, like, not everyone is doing that, okay? Like, seriously. It's like you're just saying a term loosely, you don't know what it means because your ego is pissed over some shit, and you feel like just saying, oh, well, they were a narcissist anyway. Oh, okay. But do you, homie Holmes, know what a narcissist even is? Because I can tell you, if you've dealt with someone who is a narcissist, you wouldn't be just throwing that term around lightly, because you'd be like, oh, yeah, that, but then it'd still be your perception of them. But there's a difference between someone who is exhibiting narcissistic characteristics on paper to your perception, and to someone who's just not interested, or whatever the case, okay? So here's the thing with that, with the dating advice that I would fucking look at. That shit was confusing as fuck, because it's trying to say play games, or if someone reaches out to you, wait to call them back or some shit, or like, don't have sex on the first date. Come on, really? Then why the fuck we even hanging out, my dude? I might as well hang out with my fucking platonic friend. The fuck, you know what I mean? Or, oh, how to, like, get someone who has money, or how to get someone to spoil you, or whatever the case. Like, okay, maybe those tactics are in self-help books, and motherfuckers are eating that shit up. I don't fucking know. But literally, if a technique worked for someone in the dating advice community, that is specific to them. It may work for you, it may not, but if you don't change who you are and what app you have, and make sure that it's running on a program that serves you, the same shit is going to happen again. Manipulation, yeah, identifying is all that matters. Exactly, Shelly. And then some individuals can even say, oh, that thought transmission is manipulating someone, but that's not manipulating anyone. It's just your thoughts about them are influencing them because you're the only thinker. Like, and it can be proven that you're the only thinker, because even if someone, even if you say, oh, I know this motherfucker doesn't like me, and then they tell you they don't like you, you're like, oh yeah, you see, I was right. Yeah, you were right because you said it first. So, of course, so that if anything, proves that you are the only thinker. You're like, oh, but I just felt that they didn't like me. Yeah, you felt that they didn't like you. You felt that they didn't like you. So then it came out they don't like you. Okay, what are we talking about? Thought transmission is not manipulation. You're giving them the idea that they don't like you. You said it. You called it first. You called the shots. Even, okay, someone, hey, Le Toxique, what's up? Thank you for joining. Even someone who, let's say you just met them, okay? And you're like, oh, I get a bad vibe from this motherfucker. Okay, and then it turns out later that they do some shady shit. Oh, yeah, but see, I didn't even think anything. I just got a bad vibe from them. Yeah, you said you got a bad vibe from them. You interpreted it as something negative, and then something negative happened. But you were still the executioner of that thought form to begin with, of that vibe, of that instruction. You were the initiator. It was not them. Yes, exactly, Shelly. Like, that is what it is. Okay, it is not manipulation. So even if someone, is saying the dating advice, if you call them back right away, or if you text right away, or if you check their stories, they're gonna be interested or they're not gonna be interested. I mean, okay, you want to go with that, then you're going to the outside for validation. And if you have a strong self concept, you wouldn't need to go to the outside for validation because you had understood the assignment and you're like, okay, everyone in my experience, who do I want them to show up as? What role am I casting them as? Okay, this motherfucker, we are happily married. They are my wife, they are my husband, whatever, they are my partner, however you want to call it, okay? And they are loving and devoted and trustworthy to me. And they show up for me and choose me and prioritize me above all else. That's who it is. Okay, but the dating coach said that you can't reach out to homie for 3 weeks. Oh, okay. So now the dating coach is essentially God in your experience. And what you just said, it goes out the fucking window. Okay? So this is something where it's like... you have to be mindful of what end you're living in at all times, because you're always living in the end of something. Even if you think that you're not, you fucking are, okay? So if you're living in the end of, oh, I want to get this job, but I think they might hire someone else. Yeah, guess what? You're living in the end of that, okay? If you want to say, oh yeah, when I go outside today, there's going to be no line in fucking Target and I'm going to be in and out really quick. Yeah, you're living in the end of that. So you're always living in the end of different areas of your experience at any given moment. Because there's different end goals, right? Or there's isnesses that just keep going, right? Like let's say you and your best homie, like your end goal, which is not even a goal, it's just you kind of don't think about it. You're like, yeah, this is my best homie, that's it. There's no limit on it. This is my best homie. But the end goal's already set, so they are your best homie because that's who you said they are, and you never wavered from what that was. So the end goal doesn't necessarily mean a point in time where that thing ends, or like, okay, your end goal is to be married to this motherfucker. Does a relationship end after you get married? No, it just keeps going, right? Unless you're saying, oh yeah, you just want to marry them and then get divorced the next day. Oh, I mean, hey, whatever suits you. But typically, you're living in an end goal of something. So when you are assigning these roles, you're casting the role for individuals in your experience. What do you want from them? That's it. You want the neighbor to leave you alone? Then you're going to say, I never see this person anymore. I even forgot that they lived on the block. If it's someone you want to be closer to, oh, this person in the fucking class looks really cool. I want to talk to them. I want to be friends with them. You'd be like, oh, that's my best friend in whatever this class. And we always hang out together. That's it. They cool as shit. They funny as fuck. Okay, so... I would really go into this and write down a list of different individuals, and you're not going to even call them a specific motherfucker that you're manifesting, because, even to use the language like that, like I said in the beginning, because we always like come back around, I talk in circles, but it's like a spiral. It's like it's getting somewhere. Okay. So what I said in the beginning is that, oh fuck, I fucking forgot. Jesus Christ. You see, this is how fast my mind works. But when you are, oh my God, what the fuck did I say in the beginning? Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll talk about something else until I remember. So when I said that everyone has their role and you're not manifesting a specific person, okay? You want to be mindful, that's what I was going to say, of the language that you're saying. Because if you're saying that you're manifesting a specific individual, then you're holding yourself in that pattern of you manifesting them, right? So it's easier and less complicated, which mean the same fucking thing, but it's all good. You want to say that they're already who you want them to be, and you're not manifesting shit. And you're not going to call them a specific person. You're going to call them who they are to you and your reality, because that is the only name they will go by forevermore. Amen in this bitch. Okay? You see, I forget what I say a lot, but when it comes out my mouth, it's fucking worth it. Do you see? So you're not saying you're manifesting this goddamn motherfucker, okay? You're saying, who do I want them to be? Okay, let's go with that. They're my spouse. Yep, they're loving and devoted and subservient to me. They love being around me because they know how valuable I am and, you know, whatever. Okay, right? You're going to call them that. You're going to call it those things which be not as though they were. Kaboom. Okay? So you can say this is who they are. That's it. Now, let's talk about powerful electric. Thank you. Opulence. Amen. Hell yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about this. Okay. Let's talk about the in-between. I didn't introduce my drinks for today. So we have this little guy. Yes, we do. We have we have this guy right here. And we have this guy. Okay, so that's how I roll. You know what I'm saying? And I do have a coffee, a canned coffee. Oh, it's so good, but I don't feel like getting up to go get it now. So, and I think these are enough for now. So, let's talk about the interim, okay? Because I always get asked this from individuals that I work with, and I never want to give an answer. Number one, because I'm not you, so I don't know how you are going to feel doing or not doing something in the 3D, and that's why I don't give that advice. With 3D stuff, I'm like, before you make a decision, how are you going to feel if you were to do that? Let's think about that. How would you feel if you were to not do that? Think about that. And that's because I don't know. Because to me, I can feel fine and dandy watching a horror movie. Don't mean my homie next to me is going to feel the same way. They might be scared shitless. Okay? I don't know. Like, do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, it's up to you. I don't know how you're going to feel. Only you do. This is why I do not tell motherfuckers ever what to do in the 3D. I'm like, I don't know, man. Ask yourself how you going to feel. I'm not you. You're having your own conscious experience, but I can tell you this from the manifestation perspective, okay? Corey Marie, yes, this will be on YouTube. Now, you're manifesting, well, you're not manifesting, you're already with this person, okay? So let's go with this. Let's use some names. I'm going to use some names. Okay, let's go with Disney villains, okay? Scar and Ursula. There we go. They entered the chat. Maybe it's significant for someone. Hey, Icon Hayes, what is up? Okay, so Ursula is manifesting Scar. And Ursula is all about Scar. And is like, oh, Scar, you know, like Ursula is saying, okay, I set my sight on Scar. Scar is now my husband. I'm happily married to Scar. Scar is in love with me. Scar is devoted to me, right? Okay, cool. That's one end goal. Now, maybe a former version of Scar was a fucking, I don't know, whatever they were, a whole bag, a liar. They were just untrustworthy. They had things going on. Whatever the fuck you want to call Scar, okay? Scar was a sack of shit. But Ursula decides, you don't know, Scar is it. I want Scar, okay? So, okay, Scar is my husband. We're happily married. Scar is devoted to me. We're in a loving reciprocal relationship. Cool, right? I love those big emojis. Powerful, electric. Thank you. So that is one end goal. So Ursula is going with this for a week. Ursula's really good on her mental diet. She's like, yeah, Scar, blah, blah, blah. That's my husband, you know. Okay. All of a sudden, I don't know, Scar posts a picture at the beach. Neutral, right? They ain't no motherfucker in the picture. It's just a picture of a beach. But you know that Scar lives in the fucking Sahara Desert, because I think is that the Sahara? I don't even know. Where's the desert in the Lion King? I don't fucking know. And Ursula lives in the ocean. So Ursula now, because Ursula lives in the ocean, is just like, now there's different ways Ursula can interpret that pic at the beach when there ain't no motherfucker in the picture. Not even Scar's in the picture, mind you, okay? So Ursula is like, now she's going with the story. Scar's her husband. They're happily married. Whew. Scar is at the beach, or Scar, even if Scar's not at the beach, they took a picture of the beach, because I live in the fucking ocean and they're so obsessed with me. And they did that to get my attention, because I'm happily married to them and they fucking always want attention from me no matter what, right? That's living in the end of what you decided you consciously wanted. However, let's take a look at this negative aspect. Ursula was good on her mental diet for that whole week, and then Scar posts up a pic at the beach, okay? So then, I love how my mind just makes up stories out of nowhere. This is why I'm really good at fucking visuals and Delulu, because it's like, where is it going? I don't know, but it all ties together nicely. So Ursula was on her mental diet. She sees a random pic of beach that Scar posted. Ain't no motherfucker in the picture. Ursula's ego comes in to defend the story that Ursula has about relationships. And motherfuckers are liars in relationships, okay? Because Ursula was going with that for a while. But Ursula's like, whew. So there's like a little sliver, okay? It's like a fucking snake in the night. It just slithers past, and Ursula's like, Scar posted at the beach, and I'm manifesting Scar. Okay, this is coming from something, if there's still a perceived problem, okay, if you're not living in the end. Now Ursula switches the end goal, okay? Now she and Scar are no longer happily married. Now Scar, okay, this is the other end goal she switched to, because that sliver slithered the fuck by. And Ursula's like, Scar lives in the fucking Sahara Desert. What the fuck are they doing at the ocean? Oh, Scar must be there with some motherfucker. Okay? Because Scar's a liar. So, what did Ursula do in that moment? Ursula deviated because of 3D neutral, whatever the fuck it was, okay? And said, oh, so Ursula now changed her end goal from her and Scar are happily married to, oh, Scar is a liar and they're up to no good. Scar said he was in the Sahara, but he at the fucking ocean. He knows I live in the ocean. He didn't invite me, whatever, okay? She going on a field trip in her mind. Don't tell me none of you have not ever fucking done this. Do not tell me that, okay? Do not tell me none of you have ever fucking done this. And you know you have. And it's okay, which is why we're talking about it, okay? There's nothing wrong if you have done this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you or the situation. It's just a story that your ego is defending, okay? You went on a field trip and set up camp. Yo, I'm right there with you. I got the fishing pole and the fucking rowboat. Like, I mean, seriously, okay? We building a bonfire up in that, okay? So there ain't nothing wrong with that, right? Okay? So, pardon me, let me just, So, okay, what that did right there, Ursula went on a whole field trip in her mind, seeing the 3D neutral thing. It was just a pic of the beach. But Ursula, because she wasn't solid in that end goal, or at least she was for a week, but then something happened on the outside that was neutral, Ursula, in some form or fashion, interpreted as maybe she's doing it wrong. Scar hasn't changed. She needs another technique. She needs to go on fucking Reddit and read success story. She needs to go on her alternate account, Ariel, and spy on Scar and see what he's doing, right? Like, she gotta call her eel friends. Can you slither on by the beach and see if you see Scar there? Okay, that's what she's doing, right? Because now she right, but like I just said, in any moment you're living from an end goal of whatever the fuck it is. So now Ursula, from her aim being on her and Scar happily married, it went to this shit. Okay, fucking. So now she's focused. Exactly. She is. She's going buck wild. Okay, Ursula is going buck wild. She's spraying ink all over the place. Like she fucking angry. Okay, so Now she is living by that end. And do you see what that did? That's wavering. And this is why I guarantee you, okay, a lot of you have been really good, and then something, it can be the most minute thing that happens in the 3D, even if nothing happens in the 3D, right? Let's say Ursula been doing it for a week, she still don't see nothing, so she's like looking, oh well, this motherfucker manifested the SP in 3 days, but it's been a week, like I must be doing it wrong, there's something wrong with me. She changed her end goal, okay, from her and Scar happily married. Now Ursula is, the end goal is she's a failure, she can't manifest. It's taking too long. She's looking at time. Now she has deviated, and this is her end goal. So when Neville Goddard says, live in the end, and Abdullah slammed the door in this motherfucker face, he said, I can't talk to you about going to Barbados when you already went to Barbados. How am I going to talk to you about going to Barbados? Okay? I am the Alpha, I am the Omega, I am the beginning, I am the end. You do not fuck with the middle. You just let the middle just chill. Let it just chill. And the more that you let it just chill, okay, let's go back to Ursula and Scar, okay? This is couple of the fucking century, okay? Ursula and Scar. I'm going to use them in every analogy from now on because I kind of like it. So, Ursula is doing it for a week, okay? On the 7th day, she ain't see nothing. She ain't see a picture. She just, there's nothing happening, right? And Ursula still remained firm in her end goal. No, Scar and I, we're happily married. We're together. We're in love. It's a reciprocal, beautiful, loving, caring relationship. Whatever she wants, okay? She assigned Scar, this is my husband. She assigns his role. He is loyal, he is devoted, he is obsessed with her, he is committed to her, he has eyes only for her, paws only for her, you know what I'm saying? That's a, wow, I just thought of it, you know, never mind. I just pictured Ursula and Scar. You don't even want to know what the fuck I pictured, because I'm even wondering how that can be possible, and I'm just picturing tentacles all over the place. Okay, anyway, so they getting their thing on in Ursula's mind, right? So the 8th day comes. Okay, the 8th day comes. And she been good. She's good on her mental diet. She didn't waver. She didn't say, oh, this means this, that means that. She just said, whatever is going on in 3D, I really don't care. Even if nothing's happening in 3D, I really don't care, because this is who it is, and this is who they are to me. So, day 8, Ursula wakes up. She, whatever the fuck she does, okay. She swims around. She puts on her crown. I don't know what the fuck she's doing, okay. And did she have a crown? I remember she had a crown when she was like big Ursula, and she was rising up out of the deep and she made that whirlpool. I remember she had a crown, or maybe that was another Mandela effect. I don't fucking know, but whatever. So she got her crown on. She looking in the mirror. She trying to sing and shit. And then she looks. Oh, who is that at the fucking underground cave door wearing a scuba suit? Because Scar is a fucking desert mammal. So what is he doing under the ocean? He's not going to be under the ocean wearing a scuba diving suit so that he can breathe, because he can't breathe water like Ursula, because he's not a mer person, whatever the fuck, mer creature. And he got a scuba suit on. His mane is all soggy. Okay, he's all like he can't even swim. He got the eels propping him up, and they're like, Ursula. How did they talk? They talked like that. I love the way they talk. Woo! Oh, Shelly. Love you, girl. Okay, so then he's propped up on the fucking eels, and they're like slithering, and Ursula's like, oh my god, Scar? Like, I wasn't expecting you. Like, you know what I mean? And then, do you see what I'm saying? So, because Ursula didn't waver, she did it for a week. She's seeing nothing. Or she's seeing he posted a pic in the ocean. Or she assigned the pic in the ocean a good meaning. Or she didn't see anything. Or she said, whatever the fuck. Okay? She still didn't waver from her end goal. She said, this is Scar. This is my husband. We are together happily ever after. Bim bam boom. It's done. Motherfucker in a scuba diving suit coming to see her ass. Okay? There you go. And then the whole time, Ursula finds out, right? Because then she hears it from Scar. And he's like, yo, you know, the crazy shit is like, for about a week, I couldn't stop thinking about you. Like, you were the only thing on my mind. And I was like, yo, Ursula's the best thing that ever happened to my motherfucking ass. I can't let her go. I need me those tentacles wrapped around my fucking lion loins. He was going in. He was thinking all of that for the entire week. So, motherfucker, he got out the scuba gear and he said, yo, like, what's up, Ursula, yo, you know? So there you go, okay? And the whole time, when Ursula just stuck in her story, this is who this is to me, this is their role. Oh, great, the puzzle piece. I've been talking for a fucking hour. He was fucking fiending. Lion loins. The tentacles were wrapped around the lion loins. You know, I'm picturing that. Like, do you understand when I'm super visual? Like, I don't even need to consciously think about picturing that. I'm picturing that. Ooh, I'm getting weirded out. Okay, I'm getting the ick because I just pictured tentacles. Ooh. Whatever, okay, I don't want to know, whatever they do, that's, let me put them in behind closed doors, okay, we'll put them behind a curtain, they can get it on, but I don't even want to see no more of that, okay, and I wasn't even trying to see it. You're seeing it too, Shelly. Oh my god. Okay, so the whole time Ursula finds out that while she was just maintaining her end goal, live in the end, okay, you're already in Barbados. You can't talk about what's happening in between now and you being in Barbados because you're already in Barbados and that collapses the time. Okay, but then you might find out later, just like even Neville found out later, that his brother thought of him, like, oh, it's the holidays and I want to send you money for a suit, whatever, right? Do you see how that played out? Even when he was on the boat and then they're talking about that he was supposed to go third class because the first class was taken, then even the motherfucker who was in first class, he didn't end up showing, so Neville was able to go first class. Like, all of that was orchestrated the whole time, but he didn't know that until later. Just like the same thing with Ursula. So Ursula's going in with the story, she's not wavering, she's not deterring, and she's like, okay, this is what it is. And Scar shows up in the scuba diving gear, they get it on, they live happily ever after. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is how, because like everyone pretty much in the chat has said or identified at least a little bit with, is you may have deviated from the course. Okay, so now if you're living into another end, oh, but what if it's not working? Oh, but the timing, okay? Oh, but this happened, I saw this in the 3D, but this didn't happen. It doesn't matter. And this is where you want to get really firm. You want to get really, really firm with yourself, okay? And the more that you do this, the more you just go right to the end and don't fuck with the middle. If your ego tries to say something to you first, number one, I'd recommend looking at to see if you have any underlying limiting beliefs specific to that thing that you're manifesting, okay? And if you do, then definitely work on that. And what I recommend is robotic affirmations, just one. You don't need a million, okay? So do that. And if you have no limiting beliefs, okay, because you've identified them and you've rectified them, then you're just gonna go in with your story. And if the ego comes in and tries to chirp at you, look at what happened over here. Oh, nothing's happening. Well, this person got it in 3 days. Okay, whatever it tries to tell you, that is the ego, okay? And that's looking for something instant, which the ego, remember, it can only go by what it's familiar with. So how you train the ego to be on board with that, your ego now defends the story, because remember, everything is a story. You're not going to... Ursula went to the field trip and pitched a tent. She fucking did. She brought out the fucking s'mores and shit, okay? So now, what you're going to do to remain in the state is you're going to say, no, that's not it. You're not going to get angry. You're not going to fight with it, okay? Because as in one of my other favorite books, The White Book by Ramtha, channeled by J.Z. Knight, one of my favorite quotes of all time, it says, you cannot have a war against a thought. You can't, how can you fight with the thought? You can't, we can argue back and forth. It's not going to go anywhere. So what do, you switch that thought out, or you just tell it, no, we're not doing this. And the ego's blah, 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 timing or this or that. We're not doing that anymore. And and here's where I recommend, especially if you feel like you're starting to spiral, that is where, that in my opinion is the most crucial moment. Because remember, we're letting go of the pattern of listening to the ego and looking at the outside, and we want the ego to be on board and now defend and protect the story that you can trust yourself. So now the ego is going to protect your intuition. Okay, because I've had experiences with this too, where I'm like, no, but I know something and it's known and there's no fact, there's no nothing, but I know it. And my ego is on board like, yeah, bitch, we know. Now what? What you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? And I know that. And the ego, even though you wouldn't think that the ego is pretending like an unknown ethereal thing, it also is doing that too, because it's still a story. Remember, it's your stories that play out. So my stories, my intuition is always correct. It never steers me wrong. So my ego is like, yeah, that's right. If you have a story, oh, I don't know if that's my intuition. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Even the story about your intuition is going to play out for you. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's still just a story that you're going. So the ego will protect and defend a Delulu story if you train it to do so. And this is what we're doing, because every story is Delulu until you fucking think it long enough and then it becomes real. Just like, how real did I make that fucking shit with Scar and Ursula? You all here were seeing that in your mind. And like, I mean, where is that happening? Somewhere. It's fucking happening somewhere. Oh, God. That's interesting to think about. But I said, they behind the curtain. I don't want to see none of that. Okay? But do you see how real I made that to where, like, you start seeing it too? Everything is a story. So when you say to the ego in those moments where you feel like you're going to start spiraling, not today. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Ego, that's the old story coming out. I no longer identify with that software. I'm switching out the software right now. And I'm going to do this by not reacting in the same way I normally would. I'm going to respond differently so I can break the pattern. I realize that it's just a pattern. It has nothing to do with me. You depersonalize it and you put the focus back on yourself. And I recommend deep breathing. Some of you like EFT tapping or whatever. I don't know. Okay. But all you really need to do is just take a deep breath. Say I am statements. I'm the operant power. This is the old story leaving. I'm the operant power. This is the old story leaving. And you keep doing that until you're like at a baseline neutral. And I promise you, the more you do that, you don't even entertain nothing. You don't even have to go in with affirmations for Jafar or Ursula or anyone. Okay, you go to yourself because you're calling your power back to you. So you are the focal point. Remember, it's all about you. I am safe. I am stable. I am secure. I am the operant power. Boom. Okay, and you keep doing that. Yes, depersonalize it, because it's all just a story. And stories can seem personal because emotions can get involved if you're saying that story long enough. But it really is just a story. Just like your emotions are not yours, your thoughts are not yours, they're just tools, okay? So how you do something is you break the pattern in the moment, because you have the awareness, well, something similar has happened before, but that's not who I am anymore. This is the old story leaving. This is the old story leaving. I'm calm. I'm grounded. I'm safe. I'm the operant power. Blah, 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 blah. Until you feel better. And once you feel better, I promise you, you're not even going to still be as bothered by the thing. It might be on your mind, but you've calmed down. So what I recommend, anything happens in 3D, whether you see it as good, as bad, if you don't see it as neutral, calm yourself down. Even if it's something where you're super excited about, I wouldn't recommend being, oh my God, that's so exciting, because like that too is not your natural God state. The God state is neutral, okay? I'm not excited that I'm here. Well, I mean, I'm happy, like I'm content that I'm here talking to you all, but it's not like, oh my God, I'm doing it. No, because I'm doing it. What is there to be excited about if it's already done? What you get excited going on vacation, right? Leading up to the vacation, but then when you're there, you're just in it. Where's the excitement? Like, you might be chill and content, but you're just in the moment. Okay, so that is the God state. The God state is neutrality. Because remember, if there's no feelings, there's no good, there's no bad, there's no opposition, right, in the ethers, how can you be excited or upset about something? You can't, because everything is all at once. So there's no excitement and there's no fear and there's no, it's just, it is. It's just, this is what it is. So that is the God state. Now, excitement can be an indicator, and this is my opinion of emotions, okay, and how one would look at emotions. This is just my perspective. Emotions are tools as well as thought. Like, a thought is the command, okay? Now, your emotions are what's signaling you, okay, towards something that is favorable to you. It's like it's leading you with a treat, or it's telling you to stay back. So let's think of the dog in the fucking house with the electric fence, okay? So you don't want the dog to leave the premises, so you have the electric fence, okay? So you want the dog to come in the house sometimes. So what do you do when you want the dog to come in the house? Let's just go with this, okay? Someone's gonna say, oh, well, you could just call their name and they'll come. No, but see, we train in it, okay? We train in the dog. The dog is a fucking puppy. So how we want this dog to come into the house. Here's a treat. Ooh, it gets excited. The dog gets excited. Here's a treat, because it's leading the dog. The master is leading the dog to do something that is good for the dog. It's good for the dog to come in the house. He gets a treat. He gets a bath. He gets to eat, whatever, whoever, right? Okay? He wants you to do something because it's going to be good for you. So what it's going to dangle the treat. The master is going to dangle the treat to the dog. The dog is going to get excited. Ooh, okay, I'm going to lead you this way into the house with the treat, right? It's exciting, okay? So if something is exciting and you're excited about it, this is really good. This is where your God self is leading you. Okay, it feels like this. That's a great feeling. Keep coming towards here. Keep coming towards here. This is exciting. You think about this and you feel like this. Yes, it's for you. Makes you happy. Makes you exhilarated. Come closer. Come. You know what I'm saying? Come hither. Slither. Okay. And you slither on over and you keep going into that feeling. Ooh, I'm excited. This is great, right? You might not have the thing, okay, but you're getting closer. It's like playing hot and cold, okay, just like the dog going in the house with the treat. Now, that's how you utilize an excited emotion. It means that that thing is for you, okay? How to know something is not for you. How to know don't go there. Don't proceed with those thoughts, right? Because with the emotion, the excited emotion, what thoughts are you thinking with that? Likely you're going to be thinking positive thoughts, happy thoughts. Okay, yes, so continue thinking this way, continue feeling this way. This is good, right? It's leading you towards something beneficial. Now, an emotion that feels like shit is like the dog is trying to escape the fucking gated fence and whoo, oh shit, electric shock, whoa. Okay, so something occurs, a thought happens, and you feel like shit. You're like, whoa, what the fuck is that? That is the same fucking power that's saying, yo, you don't want that, man. This is why I sent you that fucking emotion. And this is like your higher self, the operator, right? Who's connected to the God consciousness, operating the vessel. Okay, but here's something. You don't want to go there. You don't want to think those thoughts. That's why I'm making it feel like shit. I'm doing that so that you can feel and process. Do not go there. Okay? So it's also like a deterrent. It's like a repellent. Okay? So you having a thought that makes you feel like shit or constricted or angry or whatever, You don't want to go there. Leave it alone. Go this way. Go the other way. It's telling you not to go there, just like the dog trying to leave the fucking yard, okay? And then what's going to happen? The dog is going to go again. Ooh, then the dog is going to be like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, something's up with this fucking fence. Something's going on here. Every time I go over here, whoa, I don't like that. So what's it going to do? It's going to stay away from that. And that, in my opinion, is why you have these negative thoughts which produce these negative emotions, because it's part of the operating system signaling you, well, don't go there. And then the excited ones are saying, yes, go there. But the true state is neutrality, because those two are rectified. Because when you are living the dream, you're not really feeling excited about it. You might feel content in the moment. You'd be like, wow, this moment is amazing. But there's likely not to be a feeling. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that as well, because there have been times where I'm like, oh shit, my manifestation is here. I didn't feel excited about it. Like, oh man, I was just like, oh, I'm in it. This is nice. I'm enjoying this, right? And you're just in the moment. So that's how you can tell. Okay, the thought is the commanded inputs, and the emotions are like your radar. Okay, it's telling you how to adjust the thoughts that you're thinking about as the command. It's saying, well, these thoughts are making you feel like shit. That's not going to be good for you to continue thinking like that, so think the other way. And even if you're still feeling like shit and you force yourself to even think more favorably about the thing, even if it's just, you know what, I'm at peace, everything is neutral, you're going to start to sense those shitty emotions be dispelled. And then you're going to come to neutrality, and then maybe excitement. Okay? Because they're just really guides. They're guides. They're saying, okay, you feel like shit, stop thinking that way. You feel good, yes, continue thinking that way. And that's all it is. It's not personal. But of course, because they're feelings, they can be personal, because it seems like you're the only one that's feeling them because you're processing it on that level. But it's really a part of the operating system. Nothing is personal. It's not you. You're the one that's operating it. So if you're looking at it from the perspective of someone who is operating the avatar, then you can say, okay, well, this negative feeling, I don't like the way that feels. Like, let me stay away from there, because it's clearly not guiding me towards anything that, you know, I know that is going to help my character win the game. So let me go over here. The same thing, the excitement. Ooh, let's follow the fucking magic mushroom down the yellow brick road, okay? Let's go with this. Ooh, okay, yeah, I'm getting more. Ooh, this is good. Okay. And then before you know it, you fucking beat the game. So someone is going to ask, oh, but you said that your emotions don't manifest. It doesn't matter how you feel. Okay, it doesn't matter how you feel as long as you keep your thoughts in alignment, for the reason that I just said, because the thought is the command. Okay, it's commanding the emotion. The emotion is just there, like, like you touching a hot stove. Oh shit, don't do that. Okay, cool, no problem. You're getting a massage. Okay, yeah, maybe you want to do that again. You enjoy it. That's all it is. It's signaling you about the thoughts that you're thinking. Do you want to continue thinking this way, or do you want to continue thinking that way? Okay. And you always go with the thought that's going to bring more calm. That's it. Even if you're super excited, I recommend, okay, yeah, this is normal for me. This is my baseline. Everything is always magical and perfect for me. This is, normalize that excitement then. Okay? Because you don't want to make it so like super hyped, because then that's still not the God state. So it's like you're super hyped. And when you actually have the thing, you're going to realize that you were excited before you had it, not while you had it. So when you have it, it's normal, it's neutral, okay? So the state of the wish fulfilled is neutral. Like, you can't shake it. You're just like, this is what it is, you know? So your emotions matter in terms of, you want to have a good experience where you're feeling neutral at least, but it's not what's manifesting, it's your dominant beliefs. And this is why, even when someone says that they don't know how this thing manifested, they weren't thinking that's right, because not all of your fucking thoughts manifest, it's the dominant ones. So if the undercurrent is dominantly saying this, but you're consciously looking at something else, but the undercurrent is still there, it can still creep up. And I have a video further explaining this. The unfavorable memories keep looping. It feels like it's happening and predicting the future. Well, look at what you just said. Look at exactly what you just said. So that's what's happening because you're saying it's happening. So what unfavorable memories? Technically, if you wanted to really forget something that happened in a perceived past, you can just say that never happened. And the less attention you give that specific scenario, you would in fact be able to not remember it. So you again, you have the conscious awareness to say, okay, is this a memory? No, I don't. What was even that? What situation was that? Because you technically aren't even the same motherfucker that experienced that situation. You're different because it's a different identity. So the only one that can bring anything, whether it's a perceived moment in the future, perceived moment in the past, you can only bring that to you now. So you're not even the same individual. This is why, like, when motherfuckers talk about, like, trauma and shit, and, like, even if, let's say, there was a former version of you that experienced trauma, what you do is you can disassociate for that entirely. And I mean in a healthful manner. And you can be like, you know what, whatever. And not everyone may be able to do this, but if you are able to be like, I don't even know who that motherfucker was. My life has always been perfect. And if you really just went with that, you would stop having that memory of trauma if you stopped reigniting it. Because you're only reigniting that in the now moment. So that's why in the spiritual community, motherfuckers talk about, oh, childhood trauma, and if you experience this, and karmic cycles, and ancestral, generational curses. Oh, my Lord in fucking heaven. Really? That's not limited at all. Because now you're going with some fucking bullshit. Hey, Lana, thank you for joining. So now you're going with some bullshit. Again, the outside spiritual community, you didn't get that thought from you. It just, you latched onto it for whatever reason. You're like, oh, here, this must be it. But really, there's nothing wrong with you. Because how can there be anything wrong with you if the only moment is now and you technically don't have a fucking past or a future? So if you're saying that there's something wrong with you, whether mentally or physically, okay, you're bringing that now. Maybe there was an identity of you that existed somewhere in the fucking ethers years ago that, you know, experienced something or witnessed something or had a condition. Are you that now? You don't need to be, okay? Unless you choose it. So then someone's going to say, oh, but what if there was like a health condition or something that they've been dealing with since childhood? Then stop identifying it. Stop saying my whatever the fuck it is, okay? If you're going to put a label and say my whatever it is and it's something traumatic, I don't know why you want to do that, homie. You claiming ownership over some bullshit that you don't want. I would never do that. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, now if it's too much for you, and everyone is at different levels, that's what I'm saying, different things. So number one, okay, if you have experienced trauma, whatever it is, you know, trauma looks different to everyone, but if you have experienced any type of trauma from a former timeline, okay, you either say that never happened, my life has always been perfect. You could go in and revise it. Like I have in my quantum shifting, you could go in at that juncture point where the trauma happened. You could go in and set a new trajectory for another timeline. Or you can be like, yeah, you know what, I've seen some things. I've experienced some things, you know, but hey, whatever. Doesn't fucking matter because that's what's going on now, because right now I'm perfect. So it really depends. You can slowly start to minimize it by looking at it as like it's not super, super serious, okay? And this is only obviously if you have severe trauma and you haven't processed your emotions from that, it might be a different type of thing, okay? So if you're thinking about that, you have emotions come up, let those motherfuckers out. You know, you don't want to keep them sticking around. Okay, but you're just gonna say, you know what, like, whatever, I am who I am, and that isn't a version of me that exists now, okay? Because I've heard of individuals you know, like they'll continuously like identify with the trauma, or they'll make it part of their identity. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, you know what I mean? Because you're just reactivating that whole timeline. And like, I get it. Okay, like people have experience things, right? And maybe to them they're like, okay, they overcame it or whatever. And if you're looking at it that way, that's totally different. It's from a place of empowerment rather from a place of this always happens. You could be like, yeah, maybe that happened, but you know what? In that instant when that situation happened, I decided who I am, and I'm not that motherfucker, and now this led me to be who I am today. Like, there's different ways of looking at it, okay? So if you are identifying with something that you don't want, I mean negatively, you're bringing that to your now moment, but technically that moment doesn't exist. So I would just let the fuck it, if there's emotions associated with it, let those motherfuckers out, scream, shout, cry, I don't fucking know, okay? But let that shit out and say, you know what, that's the old identity leaving. I don't know who that motherfucker was, but I'm perfect, whole, and complete here and now, and everything is fucking amazing. It always has been, it always will be. Yes, exactly. You don't need to heal or do shadow work, because if you're continually looking for something to fix and heal, then you're gonna find something to fix and heal, right? Just like if you, okay, right, what I was talking about with Ursula and Scar, okay, right? Ursula assigned a meaning to Scar, that Scar is her fucking spouse, her husband, whatever, right? And so you've already assigned that. So now when you make the decision, right? This is my husband, this is my wife, whoever. This is who I am right now. I am confident and my life is perfect, okay? That is your end goal. So now your mind, just like Ursula's looking for evidence of Scar, it being her husband, it's just naturally going to start going there. Okay, because you set the trajectory, you are confident and empowered, right? You are the operant power, it's all about you. So your mind is just going to start looking for instances of that. Whereas if you're saying that you need to do shadow work, that there's something wrong with you, that you've experienced trauma, then that's the end goal that you're going with. So you're going to naturally, your mind is just going to start looking for evidence of that. Okay, well now the end goal is there's something wrong. So, okay, there's something wrong here, there's something wrong there. It's going to find those things that you input into the fucking GPS. Because once you set the end goal, right? Like Neville Goddard going to Barbados, that's what he input in the GPS. So, boom, that was it. Whether you see signs or not, what's happening is that the forces, the universal forces, which are all you, are just orchestrating it. And they're like, okay, how do we get this motherfucker from here to there the easiest and fastest? Because, and not that it's thinking, but you know what I mean? If it were to have a fucking conscious way of thinking, be thinking like that. So it's like, okay, path of least resistance. Isn't that everyone's fucking catchphrase, right? Path of least resistance. Okay, so boom, we're just gonna do it because the thing is already done. How do we get this motherfucker over here the fastest? Okay, so if you set the trajectory that you need to do healing or shadow work, then those universal forces and sources, because they are neutral, are going to be like, oh, so we had to get this person to heal the fastest. Oh, look, here's something else wrong with you. Oh, look, here's another thing wrong with you. Here's something else you have to work on. Because it's all the same. So my advice would, for anything, is don't look at what you don't want, no matter what it is. And if intrusive thoughts come up, you have, like, it might not seem like a big deal in the moment, but the intrusive thoughts are the ones that are going to help you the most in your journey, especially if you have a program, like a pattern running in the background that you don't want. Because those intrusive thoughts are going to come up. And if you notice one same thought coming up, that's likely your limiting belief or a part of it. So you're going to say, okay, intrusive thought, thank you for showing me what this limiting belief is. So I'm going to affirm the opposite. So anytime that intrusive thought comes up, you can either say, shut the fuck up, it's already done, I know who I am, blah, blah, blah. Or you would affirm the opposite. And you would keep doing that because, like, when someone sits in meditation or when someone does a visual or someone scripts out a bunch of shit, they listen to subliminals, whatever the fuck they do, right? That's great, but then the rest of the day, which is what I'm going to stand by, is the most important. How are you thinking throughout the day? If you're doing all these affirmations and all this bullshit, but then throughout the day you're thinking like shit, it is not going to matter because that's wavering. So if you are going to start somewhere, you don't even need a technique. Decide what you want and then see how you're thinking throughout the day. If you don't think about it ever again, hey, that's fine too. But if you decide what you want, okay, Ursula and Scar are married. Okay, cool. So now what? Oh, but what is Scar doing? Scar ain't text you back. Okay, yeah, we're happily married though, so it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, but Scar posted this pic of him at the beach. It wasn't even him at the beach. He just posted a beach pic. It could have been from anywhere, but no, it doesn't matter. We're happily married. Boom. You stop, and you would really think that that's not doing a lot because all you're doing is switching out a negative thought for a more favorable one. But because you have so many, ooh, thank you for the gift. Because you have so many thoughts throughout the day that are just running on autopilot, like they're running amok, like there's no control over them, you're going to start to see which ones peck at you. You're going to start seeing that and you'll be like, well, why does this thought keep pecking at me? Okay, what is the opposite of that thought? Okay, you go in with that. And if that's all you did, you would start to sense a shift in yourself and a shift in your 3D. Because you're changing your perception you're changing your thoughts. So now you're not looking for things that are negative, you're naturally looking for things that are positive, and then that's going to become your dominant belief that your ego is going to defend. So it starts in little steps. And when someone asks, like, but how do I ignore the 3D? You're not ignoring it to the extent where you stop showering and brushing your teeth. You're just looking at the circumstance in a more favorable way. So Ursula says that her and Scar are happily married. So then Scar texts like WYD. So Ursula, okay, is like, oh, well, yeah, Scar's already married to me, so okay, YWD. It doesn't matter if I respond, it doesn't matter if I don't respond. Do I feel like responding? No, I don't feel like responding right now, but it doesn't matter because we're happily fucking married. Do you see how she's still in the fucking end goal of that compared to, okay, WYD. Now she switched the end to, oh no, that means Scar just wants to hook up. That means Scar is just, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Right? Like, do you see what I'm saying? So what is the more favorable thing? In that moment where you sense that you start to waver, and you could do this for any example, I'm just saying Ursula and Scar because that one got super fucking lively and my fucking mind did in the chat. We're gonna say, Ursula's now like, WYD. Well, this can mean a lot of things. But you know what? It just means that I'm on Scar's mind. I mean, Scar's my husband, so of course I'm on his mind. Okay. And that's it. You just find the more favorable thing that you can say about the neutral 3D circumstance, especially if your mind starts to wander to a place that you don't much care for. What is more favorable than that? What meaning can you assign it that is slightly more favorable if you feel like it's too much for you to just go right to the end? It's up to you. This is why I don't get specific, because everyone, you might be able to do that for relationships very easily. Yeah, nothing matters. Okay, I'm already married to whoever, right? But with money, I don't know if I could say this. I don't know if I could just say I have $17 million in my bank account, but I could say my wealth is increasing every day. Yeah, I could say that. You see? Because again, I'm not you. I don't know what is going to resonate with you. I will tell you this. If you're robotically fucking affirming and you are feeling like you're exhausted, or you're trying to force yourself to do a visual, or you feel like you're forcing it, that is when you need to take a break, my dude. That is when. Because you shouldn't be forcing yourself. Because how can you force yourself to fucking do anything? Number one, you can't do anything to get the manifestation because it's already done. Like I always say, it's like the IKEA furniture pre-assembled. What are you doing? I gotta buy a hammer. No, you don't. I gotta buy fucking drill bits. No, you do. For what? It's assembled. So what are you doing? And that again is like fucking toiling with the fucking middle. So I don't know. I know that some individuals say things like, "Oh, you know, you can manifest in steps," and I mean, you can manifest whatever the fuck you want, but I would recommend just going in with, "I'm not manifesting this. This is who I am," and start even changing. Because remember, the thoughts and the way that you think to yourself, dominantly, you're more in your mind than in anything else, right? It's always you. Wherever the fuck you go, there you are. So you're gonna be like, I'm a multimillionaire. Yeah, my wealth is increasing every day. I always see evidence of that. And you just, and then if the ego's like, well, how's this going to get paid? It's already taken care of. Yeah, that's it. It's taken care of. I'm a multimillionaire. I don't even look at bills. Everything is on auto pay. It's taken care of. Oh, but what about, oh, well, in some way, it's just taken care of for me. It'll work itself out. It doesn't matter. You have to look at the better feeling thought. That's it. Any action that you are meant to take will be inspired, okay? You don't need to do anything. And you know, I think it's interesting because even in the manifestation community, there's so many different opinions where some individuals will be like, oh, but you know, you should, how are you gonna manifest if you're just sitting on your couch? Motherfucker, I have fucking done that, okay? I have manifested not doing fucking anything, but following inspired action. And it wasn't something that I thought about. Because the times I thought, oh, well, maybe this will get me here. No, it didn't end up getting me there. But a random action that I thought had nothing to do with the thing actually ended up getting me there. That's why I've experienced it so much that I'm like, you really don't need to do shit. So when someone says, oh, but you just expect money to land in your bank account, yes, it fucking can. You say I'm a multimillionaire and you get a fucking deposit in your bank account the next day. I mean, should that shock you? No, because you already said you're a multimillionaire. If you're saying you're happily married and the SP shows up at your door tomorrow morning, should you be shocked by that? No. Because remember, you are the Lord and there is none else. Things are gifted to you. You don't earn shit. God doesn't say I need to earn this. God doesn't say I need to get a job and do this. God doesn't say I need to set out a fucking resume. God is just like, all is now. Boom, motherfucker. And that's what it is. So, if you are meant to do anything in the middle, as they call it, it will be an inspired action. If it's something that you're even thinking of logically, no, that's not an inspired action. And it really doesn't matter what you do or don't do, but I would just recommend not doing anything unless it doesn't feel like an action, in which case you're not going to have to think about it anyway. You're just going to be in it, okay? So you don't have to do shit physically. You really don't. You don't have to do shit. There might be a physical action that you perform and it leads you to your manifestation, but odds are that action is not going to be something that is unnatural or something that you had to think about. You can manifest just by daydreaming all day. I have fucking done it. You can manifest by just deciding and then it appears. I have fucking done it. I'm sure a lot of you have fucking done it. And that's the thing with the subconscious beliefs. That tends to happen when your ego is already on board with the story that there's, this area is cool. Yeah, there's nothing going on here. It's just neutral, right? So manifestation is easy. Are you like, oh, no, it isn't? Or you like, yeah, I'm the shit. No, it's just manifestation is easy. It's neutral. Your ego is being quiet because it agrees. It's like, yeah, it is neutral. Okay, there's nothing to defend. Now, if someone were to come to you and say, manifestation is hard, your ego is going to sit up like, no, it isn't. It's going to defend the story that it knows, but not from a place of like trying to coerce someone else into doing something. You know what I mean? I mean, you really, it really just depends on what you're used to. So when motherfuckers say for you to normalize your desire, it's like you're normalizing in a way where what that's doing is just releasing resistance. It is just releasing resistance. Because when something is normal and natural to you, you're not resisting it. You're just like, oh, it's here, that's it. Like your name or whatever the case, right? So normalize it. sit with how it is. You don't need to feel a feeling. You really don't. Just feel neutral. And if you're content, this is why I've heard so many times, the manifestation will show up when you're not looking for it, when you're not expecting it. Why? Because you're not looking at the lack of it. You're just there. So, have a little water break here. How do you change the thoughts that are in the back of your mind? Identify what they are and go with the opposite of that and make those your robotic affirmations. I mean, I have to say, like, if you guys think of the thing right now, don't think of it as though you're manifesting it. Think of it as though it's already done, because it is already done. So now what would be your next, what would be the after? One Step Beyond. I fucking love that show. There's this old show, I think it was on like the 50s or the 60s or something, and it's just so good. It's like sci-fi. I absolutely love it. It's so good. But anyway, that's where I got that from. The One Step Beyond in the manifestation. Because you want to go one step beyond, because you're no longer the one who is manifesting it. It's already done. You're in that experience. So what now? So the IKEA furniture is already shipped to you. It's already assembled. What now? Oh, I want to get a fucking couch to go with this armoire, whatever the fuck they call it, right? So that's where you're going to be in your mind. Oh my god, really? Le Toxique? Oh my god. Yeah, definitely. You have to just be in that next step. Because if the manifestation is already done, there's nothing else to manifest. So it's, okay, yeah, that's done. Now what's the next step? And then when you get to that next step, right, let's go with the IKEA furniture again. Okay, so now you're like, yeah, I'm going to get this to match that. I'm going to get this to match that. And I think I'm going to use this paint. You're already in that idea that's already happened. The thing shows up. And then now you're in the thing where you're picking out the armoire and shit. Okay. And then after that, here's how you keep it going though, because the manifestation doesn't shut off. What is the next thing you want after that? And just look at the next step, okay? So you're happily married to the SP. Cool, right? They're not the SP. They're your husband, your wife, your spouse, whatever you want to call them, okay? You're happily married to them already. Now what? Are you buying home together? Are you going on a honeymoon? What is the next step? Do you see? And be in that, because you're like, okay, yeah, that's already taken care of, right? You don't, when you book the trip, you're not wondering how is my ticket gonna arrive to me, right? You're just like, yeah, I'll download it when the fucking day comes. It's already taken care of. It's handled. So what am I doing on the trip? I'm doing this. I'm doing that, right? That's how you would look at your, manifestation. Hey, Jane. Thank you for joining. Will you affirm for marriage? You imagine that it's 30 years into it? Yeah. That's a good idea because the thing already happened. So there's no point. There's no point. And this is where, like, a lot of you can even, because if everything is a story, everything is something that you're telling yourself, you can even go, I'm feeling great, fellow God. Hope you are too. I know you are because you're in the fucking chat. We're all lit as fucking here. We already have what we want. Living as gods on earth. Fuck yeah. When you are in the manifestation, okay, in your mind, you're like, okay, this is already done. It's kind of like it's all like really a mind fuck kind of, because we are hallucinating this fucking reality if you think about it, but it's all about projections of the mind. So if your projection is like, yeah, it's already done, you're just on board with it. You're like, okay, so this has happened, now what? And then your brain is like, okay, well, it's gonna logically try to be like, why are we looking at this when that hasn't happened? But then the more you just go into the story, yeah, it's happened, now we're going here. It's like, in a way, it's going to remove the resistance from your ego or logical mind trying to figure out how it's going to happen, because now it's focused on a new task. It's focused on, okay, so we're happily married. Are we living here? Are we living there? Did we go on that honeymoon? Right? It's like the IKEA fucking furniture. It's assembled. Okay, so what color are we painting the walls? And it's given a new task. So in a way, it's kind of tricking your logical mind into not even looking or contemplating how the how of that original manifestation would play out, because it's already played out. So it releases that resistance to it, and now it's focused on another task. That's really all it is. Everything is a mind fuck if you like honestly think about it. Because if you're hallucinating this in some weird way, like your third eye is like projecting it onto the screen of space, and you get what you think about, it's all just about training what you think about so that that can be projected. Jane, if you're saying you're struggling with something, that still is a story that you're saying. So I'd recommend no one say that they're struggling with anything, because why are you going to say you're struggling? Why are you going to even bring struggle or time or I have to do another affirmation, I have to find something else to do? You're the one that's saying that you're struggling, when if you would just release it and let it go and say, this is the end goal, okay, that's it. It'll sort itself out, however. Yes, exactly, you are. You are what you say you are, and you are who you say you are. So if you're saying, I'm happily married, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm perfectly healthy, I mean, what else is there? You know what I mean? Every day I feel better and better. Every day becomes more and more amazing. Like if you just even kept it general and didn't go into a specific area, and you just like made a general statement for all of your apps and said that everything was running smoothly. I'm in my perfect relationship. My bank balance is overflowing. I enjoy perfect health. Every day gets better and better. I'm always feeling great. I have the most amazing friends. I have the most amazing family. I have the most amazing job. I have the most amazing, like, even if you just said that and didn't get specific, you would still see movement with that, because it's just what it is. Everything is what you declare it to be. So if you're saying that, you also don't want to go looking around for like a perceived problem and then contradicting everything that you just said. So it might be a little fucking strange at first, if you're especially, coming out of the Matrix mindset where it's like you're basically programmed to look for problems and shit like that. But you're just gonna say, no, we're not thinking like that anymore. And don't even try to fight with it, because remember, you can't fight with a thought. I mean, you can, but you ain't gonna get nowhere. Like, you talking to yourself inside your mind, like, So... And then now, moment, persistent thoughts or imaginations being created, the unseen to appear in the 3D. What you dominantly focus on and what you have no resistance to. Absolutely, yes. This is why you can manifest a cup of coffee seemingly out of nowhere, because you don't have resistance to it, because you don't care. And that's why the thing seems to show up right away. And also what you dominantly focus on is just going to continue playing out in all areas. Spicy Mario. Oh my god, I love that name. That's fucking awesome. So that's what it is. As long as you stopped even identifying with trauma, stop saying it's hard, start saying that your life is perfect, it's getting better every day, you're feeling better every day, you're becoming wealthier and healthier every day, you're more loved every day. Even if you just label that, I know it's kind of like going from a future tense, but even if you just did something like that, and you didn't contradict it, obviously, you would start seeing evidence of that. And it can be instantaneous. It can be instantaneous. Like, it doesn't... Another myth in the whole manifestation community is the motherfuckers say, oh, but, there's a 3D time delay. Well, yeah, because you're fucking declaring that there is, so what's going to show up for you? Everything is super, super specific to what you declare that it is. That is it. There's nothing else. It's what you say. And it doesn't matter if you say it in a negative way, a positive way, it's just what you say. Ooh, you were hoping I was live? Well, I was hoping you would join. What's up? And here we both are. Fuck yeah. Exactly, Ashley, you make the rules. There are no rules. If you say that there aren't rules, then there's gonna be no fucking rules. There's no past. Oh, thank you, Jean. Your vids are my fave on YouTube. I'm glad you enjoy. Yeah, the YouTube ones get like super, super long. Hey, Nigar. Thank you for joining. Love you. Exactly, Ashley. There are no rules unless you say that they are. So if you're in it and you're saying, I don't know, even, okay, you know what's so interesting? Even if you have like a go-to technique, which I think is great, okay? You have a go-to technique. So let's say you're like affirmation champ over here, right? I'm drinking a lot of stuff. Tap water, sparkling water, and this little mini guy of wine. The thing with manifesting, even if you have like a specific technique, like you love affirmations, okay? You're an affirmation champ. Oh, thank you for the gifts. And you keep saying the only way that I can manifest is through affirmations. Like, yes, that might be something that works for you and you should keep up with it, but you still wouldn't even want to limit yourself to saying the only way I manifest is through affirmations. Like, yes, you can use it as a tool if you know that you've seen success with it in the past, but you can say, you know what? I don't even need a technique. Yeah, affirmations are cool. I enjoy doing them, but I can just decide that the thing is done and the thing is done. And even if you are wavering in the in-between part, that, you know, ideally you wouldn't want to do that, but even if you are wavering, you don't want to go automatically, oh, I wavered, oh, like now everything is fucked up because I had this negative thought. You see, you're still creating that too. So if you're in the middle of it, you have one day where you fucking spiral, you crash out. It doesn't even fucking matter unless you say it fucking matters. So it's fine if you spiral. It's fine if you crash out. It's fine if you get angry. It's fine if you cry, okay? Whatever the fuck happens, just don't fixate on it. That's all. Just don't fixate on it. Just be like, oh yeah, that happened, but you know what? I was a different motherfucker then. So now I'm brand new and everything is perfect. That's it. Don't fixate on things you don't want and don't think that anything is going to fuck up your manifestation. Because if you go in there and you say that, you know, I'm living in the end, oh, should I crash out? Now everything is messed up. Then you're still saying that. Okay, so you wouldn't want to say that. You're going to say, okay, yeah, well, that happened. I kind of... This shit happened, but you know what? Whatever. I know who I am. And in the grand scheme of things, that moment is gone. The only moment is now. And the only moment of creation is now. So, and now I'm divine perfection and everything is amazing. And my manifestation didn't go anywhere. How could it? There you go. If manifestors can create anything they want, how come they all aren't millionaires? I mean... You know, the thing with that is, like, maybe a lot of them don't even care to be millionaires. Like, you know, you never know someone's story with that. So I'm sure a lot of them would want to be millionaires, or maybe they are millionaires and they're not flaunting it. You know what I mean? So even with that, it could be a lot of things, because I've seen this question asked so many times in the manifestation community. Well, then how come you didn't end world hunger? How come you don't have like 17 cars in a fucking mansion? I mean, and some do. Some people that are into manifestation show their manifestations off, but if, let's say someone, because I think I know where you're going with this question, if someone who is into manifestation is not a millionaire, or at least they don't appear to be, again, you know, because it's still your perception of them, maybe they have a limiting belief. I mean, like, you don't know that, okay? People in the manifestation community can have limiting beliefs in that area, or maybe they're very well off, but they don't care about being a millionaire, or, you know what I mean? Like, there still can be an unknown element. That's why even with hearing success stories, when people are posting their, you know, their cars and their houses, their yacht and the plane, whatever the fuck they have going on, right? That's still your perception of them, right? It's still you're perceiving them. So you're saying, oh, well, this person, maybe you're thinking they're shallow and superficial because they have 17 cars, right? Like, and you're like, oh, well, what, they probably rented it. Like, do you see what I'm saying? So that's why even comparing people's successes or looking at these types of people, they're people, they can have limiting beliefs. Maybe they don't want millionaires. Maybe there's manifestors who they're good with, like, I don't know, van life or something. You know what I mean? Like, it can be that, okay? But even ones that have shown success, it's still your perception of them. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, 17 is your number, holla. But yeah, I mean, definitely, like, when people talk about manifestation, that does not make them exempt from having their own limiting beliefs. So they might be very comfortable, but if they're not a millionaire and that's something that they're striving to do, hey, it could be unfolding, and then the next time you see them post, they show you the money, right? But, you know, I still don't, this is why, like, yes, looking at other people's successes and, oh, this person manifested SP in 24 hours and all this stuff. I manifested $10,000 overnight. You still don't know what's going on in their subconscious, okay? And you still can only go by your perception of what you're seeing, okay? So let's say someone manifested 17 cars. Let's go with that because it's someone's favorite number, 17, right? They manifested 17 cars. So person A is like, oh, wow, like, that's amazing. They're a master manifester. Okay. Person B can be like, oh, they rented those just to show it off. They're full of shit. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, with manifesting, you're having your own experience regardless. So I think it can be motivational if you see success with others, but I also think it can be detrimental because you're like, oh, well, they manifested their SP in 24 hours, but I can't do this, so there's something wrong with me. Like, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So I just suggest to everyone, do you have any limiting beliefs that are standing in between you and the thing that you really manifest? Okay, if there are, then you would work on robotically affirming against that and changing the narrative. Okay, now timing, you want to say that this person got their SP in 3 days, but it's taking you 3 months. You're comparing yourself to others, which means that there's something in there in self-concept, because like I said at the beginning, self-concept, you're comparing your journey to others when it's like, okay, well, I'm a master manifester myself. I have all the tools and techniques. If it took this person this amount of time, it took me that amount of time, it doesn't matter because I'm having my own experience and things always align at the perfect time for me. That's what I would go with. Master manifester. I mean, yeah, if you're saying you're a master manifester, but at the same time, it's like, make sure you don't have any limiting beliefs even against that, or even in manifestation. Because even, let's say, people who you want to call them master manifestors, right? They're like, oh, I'm so good at manifesting relationships, but I don't know about money or something, right? Like, do you see, even with that, yes, they might know the law and they might have manifested many things consciously that they wanted, but then there still can be a limiting belief in another sector of their experience. There is no struggle because what are you struggling with? You know, if like and unlike are the same thing, different degree, and you took your awareness off the problem would disappear because you're not aware of it. You're just like, okay, everything is good, this is already done, so how can there be a problem when you're not looking at it and you're just like, no, that's taken care of. Like, manifestation has nothing to do with being a good person or a bad person either, right? Because I can just see someone is going to ask, oh, but this is such a good person and bad things keep happening to them, or this person is a bad person and they have everything that they want and they always get their way. Number one, that's still your perception of that person. You're dictating what you perceive as good and bad. So maybe to that person who you perceive as bad, they're like, everything I do is amazing and perfect, and that's why they get what they want. And you have a perception that bad people get what they want, so you have no choice but to see evidence of that because that's a story, okay? Just like, you know, with manifestation creators, right? Like, if you perceive a manifestation creator as oh, they're showing off the shit that they manifested, they're so arrogant, like they're in their ego, and they're like, yeah, that's you saying that about them, right? So if we want to look at it from the other perspective, that person who is completely neutral, to them and their reality, whether you perceive them as bad or good, they have their own set of belief systems. So someone who you can perceive as a good person and they deserve so much more, and like that, number one, that's a story you go in with them, so they have no choice but to reflect that. But number two, from their perspective, maybe they think that they're not worthy of those things, and so it seems like they can't have that, or they're complaining about it, right? And it, like, do you know what I mean? So even, it's like interesting. It's interesting because even people, okay, yes, everyone is having their own experience, but everyone is the only observer that is specific to their experience. So if you are observing someone, because this, I had to sit and think about this. I had to really sit and think about this, okay? So let's say I have a friend, and this friend, since I've known them, has told me that they chain smoke and they want to stop, whatever, let's go with that, okay? And they're saying that they're addicted to cigarettes and they chain smoke, whatever, okay, whatever the fuck it is, okay? And they're trying to stop, and then they presented me with that information when I first met them. That information was neutral, but they told that to me, so I could be like, oh yeah, you know, well, no, they don't smoke. In fact, they've never smoked a day in their life, whatever. I could change the narrative, and that person would have no choice but to show up that way for me. But what a lot of individuals do, because I know I've fucking done this, okay? Someone presents themselves to you, and they're like, this is who I am. So let's say friend, the chain smoker. So now I'm like, okay, well, that's who they are. They told me that. So now I'm perceiving them as a chain smoker, so I'm going to see evidence of that with them. And if that's something that they don't want in their experience anymore, and they're telling me, but I don't want to do this, but I'm doing this, and blah, 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 I still am agreeing to that story, so they are showing up that way for me. Do you see how this is fucking wild as fuck? Because if someone is presenting themselves, you still have the choice what story you want to go with for them. So let's say you meet someone who you think is really fucking amazing, and you're like, oh, this is my spouse right here, and they're like, oh, I don't really want a relationship. You can accept that, or you can reject that. And I know with different individuals, it can be like, okay, they're telling you what they're about and what they're doing, but you would still have to agree to it. Because you can change someone immediately, and you can be like, no, they told me that they don't want a relationship, but they want a relationship with me. They never wanted one before until they met me, because I'm so fucking amazing. And that is what will present itself to you from them. So even think about the stories that you have with people that maybe you've known your whole life or something, and there's something that they have told you burdens them, okay? Like they have an ongoing, like, chronic health issue or something. Yes, you might have said they've always been this way since I met them, and they're just like this. But if you even change the story to something more favorable about them, you are now viewing them as the version who is whole and healthy in this now moment. So like, oh, they're always healthier. They look better every time I see them. Oh, they're doing amazing. Oh, they're so fit and active. You're still doing that, okay? And which can be, depending on the person and their relation to you, and, like, it can be easier said than done, but you can do that also, even if it's something that you think that they have going on within themselves, but it's really they don't have anything going on within themselves. It's what you perceive of them. So, I mean, if you want to see someone, hey Trishala, thank you for joining. Woo! If you are perceiving someone, let's say Mima Pipa, someone you've known your whole life, and you're saying they've always been like this, then they have no choice but to present themselves the same way they've always been, not because they're doing anything, but because you're saying it. That's all. So, if you want to, like, help someone, or if you want to see them more favorably, then you're going to stop viewing even that individual as struggling. Never mind you viewing yourself as struggling. Think about how you view another motherfuckers, right? Like we talked about in the beginning with don't people have their own free will? Are you new to the chat? I just have to ask because everyone is you pushed out and they are responding to your own consciousness. So you can only think they are thinking something about you if you think it, but you never really know what anyone else is thinking. You think for them, and that has been reflected back to you before, where you either said, I know this person likes me, or I know this person doesn't like me, and then it showed up that they either liked you or they didn't like you, and you said you knew it. So that is your proof that they do not have free will, and you've been doing it, making assumptions about people your whole life. So I'm sure you can see some examples with that. We went into that a little before, but no, people do not have their own free will. So even if it's someone, okay, if you want to help them, Mima, Pipa, whatever, right? You're like, oh, Mima always had this health issue since I known her, okay? If you want to help her, you're gonna say, Mima has always been so fucking healthy and active. She enjoys great health, right? You're gonna go with that narrative instead. And you can do this with anyone. Now, it just depends on your own attachment to that story that you have about them. So, if your ego is so on board with a story about like I don't know, everyone you know has health problems, and that's an underlying issue with you, you're gonna see that with everyone else, not because of them, but because of you. If you have an underlying story, everyone around me is perfectly fit, active, and healthy, you're gonna see that, okay? So it's really, what is your ego used to? So if your ego is used to Mima always being sick, and it's been something that kind of put a strain on you because maybe you had to take care of Mima, you have resentment, now that story's be even extra built up, okay? So it depends where you're at. Whereas if it's just Mima is a passing relative, you don't really have much interaction with her, your ego might be like, oh yeah, she's always been sick, but she ain't bothered me. You know what I mean? So you're likely able to change that swifter than something that is like a personal thing. Like, do you see what because there's like levels. Like, yes, you can do this with people, but it depends on how involved you are and how invested you are with that story of them, okay? So the things that I have noticed, this is such an interesting topic, but I need me a sip of water. This is something that I personally studied, okay? So, here's what I've noticed with manifesting, okay? Because it's not about manifesting the thing, because the thing is already done. It's about being the version of you that already fucking has the thing, okay? So, if you are totally neutral to something, okay? Let's use everyone's favorite fucking thing, the free cup of coffee. Likely no one here really has a fucking crazy ego attachment to that. Unless you do, then I don't know, think of something that you don't, okay? Free cup of coffee. Why is it so easy to manifest? Why is it perceived so easy? Oh, but that flew in right away. Because you never had any resistance to it. You didn't have a built-up backstory that was negative or positive about it. It was neutral. It was neutral the whole time. And what I say before, neutral is a God state. It means everything just is, right? So the cup of coffee is neutral. It'd be nice if someone just paid for my cup of coffee. Okay. And then it fucking happens. You didn't give a shit, right? Because it's neutral. You see, neutrality is you just don't give a shit. Like, oh, okay. Something happens in the 3D, whatever it is. Okay. Something doesn't happen in the 3D. Okay. You don't give a shit. Boom. Those are the times that things manifest fast. In my opinion, from what I've seen, from those who I've discussed this with, okay? Now, something that has more resistance, okay, is maybe a societal construct, okay? This is a societal construct. So we have the bracket here. So you want to picture, here we go. We have the bracket. Boom. Something, there's no resistance, there's no societal construct, it's just completely neutral. Boom, those things happen the fastest. Then there's something that's a societal construct. Okay, let's use this one. You need a job in order to attain financial whatever the fuck, okay? Societal construct. Now, maybe you've heard that. Maybe it hasn't been your experience. Maybe it's just a general belief system and you're just like, okay, whatever. So it might get in the way a little bit. It might cause a little resistance. Okay, but if you haven't had a personal experience with that, okay, if you haven't witnessed that, it's likely just, oh, it's a societal construct. So something like that, money out of thin air, it might not be as fast as manifesting the free cup of coffee. If you say I manifest, $10 million out of nowhere, because society's like, well, where's that money going to come from? What do you mean out of nowhere? Did you play the lotto? Like, what happened, right? So it might be a little resistance, but it still might manifest fast if you don't have any personal story with it. It's just a societal belief. It doesn't feel like it's close to home. Okay. Now, let's say manifesting $10 million. You want it out of thin air. Okay. Let's say this is the next level. Okay. So now we at level 3. Cup of coffee was no resistance. 6 ways to Sunday, no resistance whatsoever. Boom, the thing showed up immediately. Level 2 is something where there's a little resistance because there might be a societal construct about it, such as money doesn't go on trees. You have to work hard for money, blood, sweat, tears, whatever. But it ain't ever personally affect you. You don't really have any personal attachment to it from your ego. So yeah, okay, that manifests pretty swiftly because you don't have any built up story. Level 2, okay, this one here. This level 2, you might not have struggled for money, okay? But you grew up in a household where you were always fine. You were always taken care of, right? Like you always had a roof over your head. You always had toys. You always had clothes. You always had food. You were good, but you would hear arguments, motherfuckers arguing about money, right? Or you would see it, like you witnessed it firsthand. It didn't necessarily involve you, right? Because you were always taken care of, but you just heard this, okay? You heard it. You witnessed it. You witnessed someone close to you experiencing in it, okay? So there might be a little more resistance, okay? That's level 2. And that belief, it might be yeah, you can kind of get it, but there might be wavering, but there might not be. And that's where you really want to look at your beliefs about money. Like, okay, well, just because Mima and Peepaw raised you and they were struggling financially, they always took care of you. You always had everything you could ever want, but you just witnessed that story. But your ego kind of personalized it because you were around it a lot. And it was someone close to you that you cared about, so you're like, whoa, it like infiltrated a little bit more, okay? Level 1, from what I have noticed, okay? Now we up level. The things that tend to be giving the most resistance are things you have personally been in, things you have personally experienced, okay? Level 1. So your ego is on fucking guard, like, motherfucker, that will never happen again. I have to protect this motherfucker right here. I have to protect this mindset right here because blah, 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 whatever, right? So you experience that, right? Maybe You struggled financially, okay? From before you could remember, there was never enough. There was always lack. You always had to fucking do something to earn money. You had to, whatever the fuck you had to do, okay, to keep yourself afloat. That's just the way it's always been for you. You lived it. You lived in lack, okay? So now your ego is extra because it was personal to you, as an experience that you went through, compared to you being fine, but meanwhile people who raised you, they were struggling financially, and right, compared to societal limitations where you never experienced that. No one close to you has ever experienced that, but you've heard it, so you're like, okay, compared to just something appearing out of nowhere where you just there's no story whatsoever about it, like a free cup of coffee, okay? And those are the levels that I have fucking noticed. If someone has a level 1 program in there, in the app, that's detrimental, that is going to perhaps cause the most wavering, because it's so personal. And there's all these emotions involved. So you're like, oh shit, like, and it's bringing up those emotions, and those emotions are going to try to run away from you. But what did I say a little bit ago about the dog in the fucking electric fence? Those emotions are coming up to say, whoa, I don't identify with that anymore. Stop thinking that way. So when money comes to your mind, if you have a level 1 fucking app running in the background that's causing you not to manifest $10 million out of thin air, because you can, then you're going to say, what is that? What was that limiting belief? Oh, there was always lack. So you're going to say there's always abundance. There always has been abundance. There always will be abundance. And any time that a negative emotion comes up, it's the old story. It's the old version of me leaving because I'm abundant. I'm wealthy. I have always been wealthy. I always will be wealthy. And you keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it. That is what you do. So what is the root of it? Okay? What is the root of it? And it could be anything. I just used a money example, but it could be for any example. The things that you don't give a shit about, there's no societal construct, those are fucking easy. Because there's nothing stopping you from, there's no like fucking gated fucking electric fence. You know what I mean? It's just, okay, it's a free-for-all. Anything getting in the fucking yard. Because there's no fucking defenses. It's okay, whatever. And your ego's not going to give a shit because that's friendly territory. So your ego doesn't care. Oh yeah, I live in fucking abundance. So when you get money out of nowhere, it's not going to be shocking. Your ego's not even going to try to fight with it. It's going to be natural. Like, yeah, of course I get money out of nowhere. That's all with that. And that's what I noticed with the different levels of belief systems that can keep you away from the desire, because the desire is already done. It's just like your ego and belief systems, the apps are having shit software and it's running in the background, you know. So if something is personal, and I mean personal, you have experienced it yourself, first person. You have, the second level is witnessing it with someone close to you. Third level is a societal bracket where it's just kind of a belief system, but you haven't experienced it. You don't know anyone who's experienced it. Fourth level, there's no resistance. So and I've thought about this a lot, because I'm like, how come some things are easier to manifest than others? And then I came to that conclusion. I'm like, it depends on you. And this is why someone can have really great software with manifesting a person, but then their money app is fucking shot to shit. It's two different brackets of the experience. So if that is the only thing that's keeping the manifestation from you is your belief system, you want to change the belief against it, okay? If not, if your only thing is like on time, you know, if you're just like, oh, but it shouldn't be taking this long, but it's taking that long, like, then you need to just say it's done now and go with it. And the fastest way that I have seen manifestations with myself, with individuals I talk to about it, with individuals that I've worked with, the fastest way is to just go and it's done. Make sure there's no limiting beliefs in the way, but you say it's done. If all you're doing is looking at time, it's done. If it crosses your mind, it's done. If you think, where is it? It's done. If you say, but I've been manifesting for this long, it's done. It's done. It doesn't matter. It's done. Oh, but what about, no, it's done. But it's done. It's done. That's it. We're like, and then when individuals let it go, they're just like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. And they genuinely do not care. In my opinion, I don't know if it's something that you can even force. Like, you can start to say, I don't care, but if you care, you still care. You know what I mean? So when you're at the point where you're just like, you know what, I don't even care when this happens. I know it's done, but even if it happens next year, I'm fine with that. Even that is the, like, that, okay? Because what you're continually doing when you're drilling in, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done. There is no time, it's done now. In a way that is an affirmation to get you more in alignment with saying, okay, I don't even care about thinking about time anymore because it's already done, and then you release because you say, you know what, I don't care. I don't care when it happens in the 3D because I know that it's already done. There's nothing else for me to do. And you naturally just release it, or you're doing something else, or your mind is elsewhere, or you're not thinking against it. And when you finally release it, and then you're like, okay, you know what, I don't even care anymore. I don't care when it happens. I don't care how it happens. That's when it comes, because there's nothing blocking it. And that goes for like anything. Okay? Like legit, I have fucking manifested shit, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't even care anymore. And boom, in less than 24 hours. Like, for me, okay, and this is why, again, like I'm saying, you don't want to compare anything to what I'm doing or what anyone else is doing, because everyone's journey is different. But I have seen when I have not given a fuck, the thing has always shown up in less than 24 hours. Since I declared I don't care, boom. Maybe that's not the case for anyone, that's the case for me. Because there's nothing, okay, I don't care, now what? Now there's an open pathway, it's neutral, I don't give a shit, I'm not looking for it, I'm not thinking against it. Yeah, exactly. You don't need to sit and robotically affirm. I mean, you definitely can if that's something that resonates with you, but you can literally just decide and it'll be done. And it depends. Like, you might be able to do that for some topics, and for other topics, like, you might not be able to do that. You know what I mean? Because there might be areas where it's just, you like I said, with those 4 levels of, like, limiting beliefs. Your relationship app, your career app, money app, health app, friendship app, they all might be different, okay? They all might be different, you know, areas that you have different beliefs in. So you might be able to do that in some areas, and you might not be able to do that in other areas. But across the board, the second you give up, man, and it's not even like you're giving up your desire, you're just kind of giving up that little bit of resistance. You're like, you know what, whatever, I don't even care, I'm checked out. That's all I fucking say too. I'm checked out, bro. Like, psh, whoever the fuck you are, you handle it, I'm not doing it. And the second I fucking did that, it's like you're just in full fucking surrender mode. You don't care. You're like, okay, what is there to do? Nothing, because you can't do anything to make the thing happen. If there is something for you to do, you will be guided towards it. It'll just pull you. The momentum will pull you. You will not have to think about it. You're not going to think, oh, should I send this text message? No, it will not be like that. Inspired action is just that. It just moves through you, and the motion is done. And you're like, what the fuck was that? Because I've experienced that, and I had no clue what in the fuck was going on. I'm like, alright, oh, shit. Look what we have here. It's the thing that I manifested. Because I manifested me, and then I just was carried towards it. That's all it is. It's not like, you know, it's not magic. And like, when someone is saying that manifestation is like magical, or it's witchcraft, I'm like, okay, so then I guess everyone is a magician practicing witchcraft because everyone's always doing it. So that's how you look at it, but it's really just natural. Like, what's not natural is working hard for something, earning something, okay? Because like I said in the beginning, God just stands there, right? You have the statues of the god and the goddesses, and they're just standing, motherfuckers are bringing shit to them. You don't have to do anything. So if you're in the God state, you know that you're just a magnet for everything, and it's coming to you. You don't need to do anything. You really don't need to lift a finger. I don't even know what's going on in the chat here, but okay. Letting go for is you're not letting go means forgetting the lack of it. Letting go means you're not letting go of the desire, you're letting go of the ego's attachment to the when or the how. That's all it is. You're saying, okay, ego, we gonna chill. It is what it is. Because there's nothing separating you and the desire, because you are the desire. It's just like, okay, well, how's it going to happen? Then now you're attached to when is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? Then you're attached to how's it going to happen? When you just release all attachments to, like, logistics, the shit is done. There's nothing to do. What's not natural is working hard or earning something. Hell yeah, Trishala. Definitely. I mean, it's not. That's not natural. Like, you know what I was thinking the other day, which is so fucking, like, insane to me? Like, when we were in fucking school, do you remember, and this is why I'm not a fan of fucking school, so I don't like it. What they program you in school, number one, is, I mean, at least in the United States, I don't know about other places, you know, because I haven't had the experience, but in the United States, definitely, they program you, and they tell you all of these things. They never once tell you that you create your reality with your mind. So it's like you have this thing going in your system that's against the natural flow of fucking nature, because you're always manifesting. It's as natural as breathing. What's unnatural is schedules and having to fucking ask to go to the fucking bathroom. I literally just thought that the other day, and I was like, why the fuck, when we were in school, we had to raise our hand, get a pass to go to the fucking bathroom to fucking take a piss? Like, are you serious right now? Like, to me, that's just, like, what? Like, you gotta ask to take a piss, bro. What is natural about that? Because I don't find nothing natural about that. And that's what they were doing in fucking schools, to make motherfuckers, like, bend over, spread their cheeks, be subservient. Okay? Yes, the bell's ringing to do certain shit. And the fucking fire drills? Oh my god. Those were so fucking annoying. Like, the way the bell would come on, you'd have to line up and shit. My dude, why you... That's what they do in, like, fucking science experiments with, like, laboratory animals. They ring a bell. Okay, this bell means get them to line up and do this. That's exactly what that shit looks like to me. Fucking school. Fuck that shit, bro. I don't give a fuck. Now, if it's a school where I'm interested in the things, such as, like, metaphysics or something, sure. But, like, you gonna have me line up at fucking go, like, no. Line up, go outside, fucking fire drill, whatever the fuck that. My dude, come on. No. You gotta ask to go to the bathroom. The fuck? What the fuck is even that? That shit to me is very sadistic. If you want to know my thoughts. I think school is a very sadistic place. That is my opinion. Like, that's just, that's like some military shit. I pledge of allegiance to the flag. What, bitch? Whoa. Whoa. I don't know. I don't know how it was in other countries. The school and jail are the same. Yo, that's why the fucking prison bus looks like the school bus. I mean, in the United States, again, I don't have experience with other countries, so I'm not speaking about that. I'm saying the United States, okay? But yes, the school bus and the fucking prison bus are the same thing. They just painted different colors. Even the food, the food, oh my god, the food was fucking, like, horrible. Oh my god. Well, I mean, the thing is, I've been to religious school, I've been to private school, I've been to public school, I've been to all of them. So I don't know if it is just public schools, because they were doing this in like every fucking school setting that I went to. And I did not like none of them. That's why I always hated school. I was like, I don't want to fucking go. Like, I enjoyed it to the extent of like, there were people like, like friends and shit that I had, but like to do anything other than socialize, it's just fucking pointless. Oh my god, you were writing sentences in school and getting in trouble scripted. Yes! Yes! Oh my god, I remember there was something where they had to, I don't know, like if one motherfucker was talking in class or some shit, they made the whole class write like 100 times, no talking in class. And you had to write, what the fuck is that, bro? Like, that to me is fucking weird. That to me is weird as shit. Like, what the fuck? Yes, they had to follow instructions or go to the scary office to see the principal. Yo, for real. Like, school always had motherfuckers, like, feel like you're in trouble. You gotta look over your shoulder and shit. Laws and shit. Like, you're not fucking designed to do that. And again, it's programming, discipline. There's something wrong with you. I remember there's this one time, I was like fucking 9 years old or some shit. 9 or 10, I don't know, okay? And me and my friend were fucking laughing, and like we don't even like we're just having jokes among ourselves. And then so it was a Catholic school, so this is a fucking nun, okay? And she was a nun with the I don't know what they're called, the thing on the head, I don't know if it's called a veil, whatever. You know what the nuns wear? They wear a head covering, and she was a fucking nun, okay? And I remember like we were like standing on line somewhere, we were waiting to go into another class, and we're just like laughing and joking. We're just having fun. It wasn't even in class, okay? And then she comes up to us, "Why are you laughing?" And we just started laughing even more, because they're like, yo, what the fuck is this bitch flipping out because we have a private joke? Like, ain't nothing even happening, right? And she's like, "Why are you laughing?" Like in our face, like looking like confused and like, I don't know, like, and she's like, "You don't know why you're laughing? That means you're crazy in the head if you don't know why you're laughing." Like, it was just, and I remember, like, I couldn't, me and my friend, that did it. Like, we were done, bro, for the fucking whole rest, for an hour, and for the whole entire day. We're just like, we would start laughing whenever one of us would start laughing, like, "You're crazy because you're laughing." Like, it was just like, what? And I remember that so vividly, because I'm like, "My dude, we're having a good time and you wondering why the fuck we're laughing? Like, we're gonna tell you our private joke and then you try to call us crazy." Like, so school to me was just it's like, I did not resonate with that. I never liked authority figures, because I'm like, who the fuck are you? You ain't shit. Why do I have to listen to you? I don't fucking know you. Like, think about that, right? They put you in a room with some adult, the teacher. You know who the fuck that motherfucker is. But you just supposed to obey what the fuck they tell you? Bitch, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? You ain't shit. I don't need to listen to you because you ain't shit. I don't know you, period. And that's the way I always felt. Oh, but if you did that in school, or if you said something like that, it was like, oh, you were fucking rebellious and blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. I don't give a fuck. Who the fuck are you? See, to me, that doesn't even make sense. What even makes sense to me is like, okay, if you have caretakers and you grow up in the house with them and they're paying your bills and they're putting food on the table. If someone is like, yeah, well, you need to respect them and listen to, okay, I could even see logic with that. But a motherfucker, I don't know you from Jiggity Jack, okay? Who the fuck are you? I'm supposed to obey you because you're an adult. And I'm sitting in a fucking classroom that I want to be in. Absolutely the fuck not. It made no sense. It made no sense. It never made sense to me. Oh, hell yeah. The school system definitely is corrupt. You were such a rebel. You stole a golf cart in high school and drove it off campus. Yo, that is fucking amazing. I fucking love it. Yo, Oh my God, how did they even have golf cart? Where were you? Because like there were no golf carts in any high school I fucking went to. I'll tell you what. But damn, the door. You always used to end up at the door and on your chair. Oh my God. Yeah, like I don't fuck with that shit. I mean, it's just to me, it's pointless. Like so. Anyway, the whole reason why I even segued into that is because in school you're programmed these things, right? And they stay with you for I mean, who knows how long, right? Until you just dissolve the program and you install a new one. No, I don't need to listen to anyone because I'm the only authority. What I say goes. I'm Lord and there is none else. And you're not gonna fucking tell me that this motherfucker who I don't even know has authority over me. The fuck? No one has authority over me unless you give them the authority over you. Okay? That's it. Oh my God, Shelly. Haha. Woo. They kick you out of the classroom. Oh my God. I think I got kicked out of the classroom a few times too. I don't even remember. I would be like, I was always, getting in trouble because I was wearing scandalous outfits and I would always have my makeup done. And they're like, this is a Catholic school and you need that and that and you want to look like a prostitute with all that makeup. I'm like, bitch. I'm dead ass. They would fucking say that to me. I'm like, well. Oh my God. Yeah, I couldn't. Like, I'm telling you, this shit, like, for me, school was not, the Catholics, I'm telling you, because there's like a dress code and shit, and like you weren't supposed to wear makeup, and I was wearing makeup, and I would roll my skirt up, so it was like my ass cheeks were showing. They're like, look how you look, that's not a good representative of our school. Okay, I don't give a fuck, it's your perception of me. To me, I thought I was the shit, I looked good, so it didn't matter. Any school, seriously, any school. I was not made for any school. The ones I've been to, the Catholic school, private school, public school, it just was not it, because I don't like authority figures. Oh, in Ireland you have a school uniform? I hated the fucking uniform. Because it's like, why? And that was another thing with me, right? I'm like, why do I need to look like anyone else? Like, I don't want to look like anyone else. Like, what the fuck? You were always a star no matter what, and you still are the star today. Like, that whole shit with like school, like, I don't know, like it was just very like, I feel like it, at least from my experience, it's like they try to like make you subservient to like something, and like either you're okay with it or you're fucking not. But like, I didn't want to fucking look like a fucking nun. You know what I mean? Like, that was not who I fucking was. Like, oh, I'm gonna be covered. I'm just wear no makeup. I'm not gonna get my nails done. Like, no, because that's not who I am. So stop trying to make me someone I'm not. If that works for you, if you want to be a nun and you're content and happy with it, hey, do that. But for me, absolutely not. What do I think about Kundalini? It's just it's an energetic field in the body. It's just an energetic field. But again, that's a spiritual belief. So if you believe in like awakening the Kundalini and all that stuff, then yeah, you might have experiences like that. But if you don't believe in it, it's the same thing. It's just a belief system, but it's just energy that's running through the body. You don't need anything to open in order to manifest faster. If you perceive that you need something to manifest faster, then that's simply a story you're telling yourself. I have no idea how long I've even been talking on here, but I think think I'm gonna jump off. I always say this. This will be on YouTube. And thank you all for the likes, for the comments, for the shares, for the conversations. I definitely appreciate you all being here. I don't even, I have no idea what I even talk about when I go on the lives. It just kind of flows. The only thing that stands out to me is the fucking Ursula and Scar fucking love story. So that's gonna be that's gonna be somewhere when I post it. I don't even fucking know, because I think that was a great example. And like, yeah, my own personal story times. Like, thank you for being here, guys. It's just I don't remember a time ever wanting to conform to like what someone else expected of me. So I don't know if you even, and like you have said in here, a lot of you have said that you guys never were like that either. So it's like you had already that awareness that there was something greater than what you were being told. You know what I mean? And I think that's a good thing. So if anything, that just propelled you more into this manifesting where you're like, okay, I was always kind of like that anyway. So whatever I do now, it's just fucking icing on the cake. You know what I mean? But manifestation is really, it's already done. Everything is already done. You're not manifesting anything. You're just there, okay? You're who you are being in every moment. Just think, am I being the motherfucker that has this thing? Am I being the motherfucker that is loved, that is chosen? Am I the motherfucker that is wealthy? Am I the motherfucker that is healthy? And if the only thing you can do is just get to a slightly better statement, even if you're like, oh well, I don't know if I want to affirm right to the end, just get to a better feeling statement. Okay, that's all it is. Your emotions and your thoughts are there to guide you, but you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions. And please, 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 for anyone who is saying, we talked a little bit about the self-concept and everything, there is nothing wrong with you. So if you keep saying that there's something wrong with you, that manifestation is hard, that you can't do it, you're creating that. So number one, if you want to work on self-concept, that's great. Go ahead, but stop saying that there's something wrong with you. Start saying, I'm so fucking amazing. I'm, just pouring all of this fucking energy into myself to make me even more amazing, because every day I become more and more fucking amazing. You have to view yourself always, you are the star. That's it. And not that you're better than anyone coming from an ego perspective, because that's comparison, but you are the superstar and everyone loves you and everyone wants to serve you because it serves them to serve you, because you're God and you're just, standing on the platform and motherfuckers are bringing you gifts and milk and honey and all, whatever the fuck they call it, right? They're bringing you flowers, they're bringing you food, okay? Because you're God and they're like, wow, I want to serve God. So that's just assume everything always works in my favor. And if you want to say a blanket affirmation, I am whole and complete just as I am. I'm wealthier. I'm healthier. I'm more loved than I could ever perceive. Just blanket affirmation. If you want to start working on self-concept, this way you're covering every area, but you're not getting super, super specific if you haven't identified those specific limiting beliefs. Or you can just say, I have no more limiting beliefs, I only live in the now. I mean, you can do that and stick with it, but do not say that there's some shit wrong with you, or that you need to find another technique to manifest, or this person manifested this, or you're comparing someone. Like, no, just stop that. Stop comparing. Stop comparing. You are the operant power. You're the only one. Everyone is there to reflect how you perceive them. And everything is there to reflect what you perceive about yourself. So, live in your mind, live in the end. Do not allow the middle to deter you from what you want, who you say you are, how this individual shows up for you, how life shows up for you. Just decide what you want and don't waver from that. Okay, so I am going to post this on YouTube. Thank you all again for joining. I love ya. See ya in the TikTok. Bye.